Hello, everybody, and welcome to the final race of the 2021 Formula One season. And we are here, and we've got the full house. So we've got Jamie Davies and Conor Porter here. We're here for the final race of the season. Both drivers, Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton, are level on points. First time since 1984, I believe, was the last time that they were level on points going into the final race of the season. Gents, welcome. What are our thoughts? We're starting a little bit earlier because we want to discuss this. What are your thoughts on this race and, of course, like the season? How's this season been?
Go on, Conor, you start.
Well, for me, the season has been an absolutely epic one. I think when we look back on or I suppose this is the final race of the turbo hybrid era, given that we're going into new regulations next year. When we look back, it has been a complete dominance by Mercedes, but then we got to a point finally where we have an actual challenger. You could say maybe Vettel did challenge a little bit in the Ferrari, but ultimately it was always concluded with many races to go. And other than the one this season where Nico Rosberg was up there with Hamilton in that car, it was pretty much Hamilton's title. But now we finally got a challenger in Max Verstappen and Red Bull. Realistically today, it is just between those two in the drivers. The constructors is already pretty much done. I think Mercedes only have to score 17 in order to get it done. But to realistically be in a point where we've got two drivers that can win the Drivers' Championship today just by finishing ahead of their competitor, that's what you want racing to be. That's what racing is all about.
Absolutely.
And to have it hopefully settled cleanly on the track today is going to be a fantastic watch, I think. So the season overall as well has just been brilliant. We've had lots of drama, we've had lots of red flags, Jack. Hopefully no more today.
Yeah. Yeah, it pained me last week, Conor, to be honest, because you weren't there and I had another two, and I was like, what's going on?
And I've checked the weather forecast as well. It's not going to rain in the desert today, so that's good. So fingers crossed we get a nice clean race, and it's one on the track as well. And I think it's going to be an absolutely brilliant race as well.
Jamie?
I think to be honest, I I completely agree with Conor. That is the point of racing, isn't it? It's to finish ahead of your opponent, and this is exactly what the mission is today. Who finishes above the other, and then that's the championship pretty much decided. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this. I've been thinking about it all weekend as to what scenario will we have, especially when it came to qualifying. And then when I didn't see the qualifying, I was at a game, but I just saw the fact that Verstappen was ahead, Hamilton was second. You think, oh God, please don't crash into each other on that first corner, anything. But no, I mean it's interesting because I'm really hoping next year, even though we've had two teams going for the championship this year, because let's not forget the constructors isn't decided yet. So we've got two championships on offer today, but I think with next season, I'm really hoping that with the new era that's coming in, and obviously the funding for the bigger teams not having as much as they used to, I really hope that we might actually see maybe more than two teams go for the Constructors' Championship next season. So we'll see. Time will tell. No one cares about next year today. It's all about this year and getting this season out of the way come the end of today. I mean, who will be drinking the champagne? I mean, imagine the podium today, lads. If Verstappen and Hamilton are both on it, who will really enjoy the rose water?
I was going to say, I don't want to depress you, but there's no champagne for them today.
No, I know, rose water in Abu Dhabi because of the law and all that. But yeah, to be honest, look, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Whoever wins this now deserves it. You can't fault their performances this season. 3-4 races ago, I honestly thought Hamilton was pushing it to even be in the championship come the final race. And here they are now, level on points. So that, they've both had good patches and bad patches. There's only one race between them in terms of race wins, and they're on the same exact points. It's so hard to decide who's going to win. My brain is going for Hamilton, but my heart is saying Verstappen.
Oh.
Just because I'd like to see a new world champion.
Yeah, I was just going to ask about the predictions, but before we go into that, I mean, the track has changed this year, Conor, as well, hasn't it? You know, there are different layouts to this circuit. We have always said going into Abu Dhabi that it's a bit boring. And not really much happens. And obviously we've got the points, we've got the the rivalry that's still going. Normally it's done 3 races to go until the end of the season. So obviously we've had that this year. But of course the new track layout as well does look a little bit more suited towards the drivers. But are we going to see more overtakes because of it, or?
Yeah, I think we should see more overtakes because of it. Just looking at the channel itself, our YouTube channel, the race tracker in the corner, that track layout is actually incorrect in the bottom corner. So I don't know if that's going to change or anything, but in the changes that they've made is they've produced 2 bank corners essentially to encourage more overtaking going into the different scenarios at the end of sector 2 and near the end of sector 1 as well. Both of them are banked corners going onto reasonable quick sections of the track to encourage those kind of late braking scenarios and really encourage the drivers to take more opportunities to try and overtake, and hopefully that will create more of a flow really, rather than DRS chains that we've seen in the past in Abu Dhabi. But hopefully with these, as you said, with these design changes to the track, it will make the race more exciting in future years, not just today, but future years as well. Because if this is going to be, the finale, and we want it to be exciting, we don't want to see DRS trains of drivers driving around for so many laps. We want to see overtaking. We want to see battles on the track, and with these new banked corners, hopefully that will create a more competitive drive for all drivers throughout the race as well. So I'm really looking forward to seeing these banked corners in action. We've seen it, of course, earlier in the year at Zandvoort, and of course they had a banked corner in Saudi Arabia as well last time out, which was used by quite a few drivers, and we saw a lot of drivers hitting that apex early to get that inside track. So it's going to be interesting to see how each driver challenges those corners. I think whether they go for a high line like some drivers did with one of the bank corners at Zandvoort, or they tend to stick to like a low line and get to the exit of the corner quicker and really hit that drive going down these long straights that we've got in Abu Dhabi. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this new layout.
Yeah, and if you're just checking that out, obviously Conor has just mentioned that on the driver tracker, it's the bottom left of the screen and the top right. The track layout has changed, so it's a bit weird that they haven't updated that on the driver tracker that we've got on the system. So hopefully, obviously just keep an eye out for that as they go around the circuit. They might just dart suddenly on the driver map. But I mean, and Jamie, we've done race streams throughout this year. Of course, we did the Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
No, you two have done most of them this year.
Well, yes, but we did the Azerbaijan Grand Prix where Max Verstappen crashed out leading with the tyre blowouts.
I know.
Conor, we did the same one for the British Grand Prix, I think, as well, where obviously Max and Lewis, Max got taken out. Conor, we then did Belgium, where literally nothing happened. We did about 2 laps and we were on the stream for 4 hours. I mean, in terms of this season, what would you say is the most enjoyable race that you've watched? Would it be one of the earlier ones, or a little bit close to the end of the season, knowing that we're still going to be close on points?
I think Saudi. I think because of what we knew was remaining and what was at stake. I think for me, Saudi has to be the great race of them all this season. But I think for me, Azerbaijan comes a close second because of that moment with Verstappen. Because let's be honest, most of the time when you see someone lead and dominate a race like that, the front row's already done.
Yeah.
But with that, when that happened, you just thought, he got everything right, but the tyres and Pirelli for screwing it up.
And then Lewis had an issue as well, didn't he?
Well, he did. He had the lockout, didn't he? Yeah. The lockup, at the first turn. But as a Perez fan, I was very happy about that. And we've been doing our advent calendar videos this month, and that was one of the clips. Do check it out if you haven't seen it. So, but yeah, it reminds me of Massa and Hamilton, this championship, where they've both had moments together. They've had some words together now and again. You know, they've had problems with each other now and again, and it feels exactly the same. And you know, that championship was decided in the last few corners. Could it be that close today? I honestly really hope that these two go for it until the final lap, and they're right next to each other, side by side. That, to me, would cement probably the greatest F1 championship of all time.
Yeah, and Conor, just before I ask you, I mean, we had the one I forgot to mention in Italy, where again they both took each other out as well going into the first chicane. You know, your thoughts on what your favourite race of the season's been so far? Of course, we've still got this one. This one might be it at the end, but your thoughts on your favourite race so far?
Yeah, Imola was a great race because of that collision between Max and Hamilton. And, of course, Danny Ricciardo going on to win the race overall with McLaren getting a 1-2 on that day. It was just a brilliant atmosphere really on that race because it almost had everything. You know, had a winner for the first time in a while, had both drivers competed at the top of the championship and taking each other out. But one of my favourite races on the year has actually been Brazil, just because of the drama which had, you know, Max Verstappen touching the rear wing of Lewis Hamilton's car, getting a fine for that. Lewis himself getting the penalty because of that rear wing and still managing to drive through the field, through the sprint to get to the top 10 and then going on to win the race on the Sunday following after the collisions on the track that Max and Lewis had during that weekend, where Max broke late into the corner and drove Lewis off the track, resulting in a penalty. And it's just been exciting watching these two battle it out, and I'm sure we're going to get another fantastic battle between these two today, although could be a little bit interesting given that Max is starting on the softs and Lewis is on the medium tyre.
Yeah, and of course Sergio Perez is as well. I'll run through the grid then before we ask predictions. So like you said, Max Verstappen is on pole position, but he is starting on the soft compound tyre. Lewis is second, but again he's on the mediums. Lando Norris, great qualifying for him. He's third place with Sergio Perez in fourth position. Carlos Sainz, good qualifying again for him and Ferrari. They're fifth. Valtteri Bottas in sixth. He's got a lot of work to do, but he's on mediums as well. Charles Leclerc is seventh with Yuki Tsunoda in 8th place. Yuki did well as well. Esteban Ocon is 9th with Daniel Ricciardo in 10th place. Fernando Alonso is 11th, fell a bit hard done by yesterday with qualifying, felt he got held up. Pierre Gasly is in 12th, Lance Stroll is 13th, Giovinazzi in his last race as well at the moment for Alfa Romeo 14th, Vettel is 15th, Nicholas Latifi is 16th, we've got George Russell in his last race for Williams 17th, Kimi Raikkonen's last race overall, he is in 18th, we've got Mick Schumacher 19th, and we don't have Nikita Mazepin because he tested positive this morning for COVID-19, and of course, like you mentioned before going on air, Conor, no one else is allowed to take his car because they haven't done a practice session over the weekend. So we only have 19 cars on the grid. So although it says Mazepin on the leaderboard, he won't be moving at all. I mean, he doesn't move anyway. He's normally finishing last, but there'll only be 19 cars on the grid. So before we start going around the circuit, Jamie, you mentioned it briefly, but I'll ask you again. Who are you thinking is going to win this?
Well, as I've said, now I've got a Monster Energy Lewis Hamilton can right here.
Other drinks are available.
And there are. A Red Bull is available as well.
Great.
So I've bought 2 drinks, and whichever one wins the championship, I have to drink more of them.
Wow.
And people, if anyone knows me well, I hate energy drinks. Yeah. They are disgusting.
It's even the branded Lewis one as well.
There's even a what? Sorry?
I said it's even the Lewis branded one as well. You've done well there.
I know, yeah, because I found it in a Polish shop yesterday, and they were both sitting next to each other on the shelf, and I thought, there's a bottle of Red Bull one. So I've said it before, Brain is going for Hamilton because of the experience, and I think the circuit might just favour Mercedes more, but Verstappen has pushed that car all the way to the end, so I'm gonna say Brain going for Hamilton, Hart going for Verstappen.
Conor?
It'll be Hamilton, hasn't it? You got the cap on today, so
Well, I thought that was a Ferrari cap.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure there's a Red Bull hat there somewhere, Conor. Come on.
It's a special edition Ferrari hat that you know, from the Ferrari shop somehow. But yeah, I'm going for Hamilton. I just think the medium tyre strategy could work well for him in this race, and I think he'll push Max really hard from the start, which would maybe cause a bit of wear to come into those soft tyres than what he would have liked.
Yeah.
because I think I've seen a couple of people say, "Oh, Max has got the soft tyres on, so therefore he'll start to drive away and create a gap for himself, and then they'll see where the pit stop falls in from there." But ultimately, I think Lewis, we've seen him on those medium tyres throughout the season compete with Max and stay with him, and I think that will replicate itself in today. So I think the top two will go off and drive off into the distance, and I think because of the medium tyre that Lewis is on, I think that will work well into pit stop strategies later on in the race.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he'll easily pass Max before the race concludes and go on to win his 8th World Championship.
Yeah, I feel like with the experience and the momentum that Lewis has got, I think it might be quite difficult to not see Lewis win. But I'm a bit like Jamie. It would be nice to see maybe somebody else and a different team in Red Bull winning it. But I know you're a little bit further ahead than me. I might be about 20 seconds behind the pair of you. So if it's beginning to start, I'll let one of you take over.
Go on, Conor. I'll leave it with you.
All right, then. So Max is just coming up now to his grid spots at the end of the formation lap. His dad looking eagerly on in the garage. Big day for him, watching his son potentially become a world champion. They just mentioned on the graphic as well that not only would Max break the streak of German and British world champions for quite some time. I think the last non-German and British world champion would be Kimi, wasn't it, in 2007? No, yeah, it might have been. I can't remember. I'm too eagerly into this race to remember any sort of those kind of facts. Right, Sonoda's on his grid spot, I think. Yes, there comes the Aston Martins as well. Kimi Räikkönen, of course, last big day for him in Formula One before going off into retirement, and Mick Schumacher as well, going around the corner to fill in the last grid spot on the start-finish straight as well. And there's the safety car as well, the green safety car. Hopefully you won't see much of that today. Marshall comes out with the green flag to wave off. The 3 red lights are on, 4 red lights are on, 5 red lights are on, and they're out straight away and they're underway. Good start by Lewis Hamilton. He's into a good first corner ahead of Max Verstappen. Already, Lewis Hamilton has taken over Max Verstappen, and Perez is behind him as well. Lando's gone off the track, but they're pushing forward. Sainz has got good movement. Bottas has had a good start as well. He's right behind the Ferraris. It's an absolutely brilliant start, though, from Lewis Hamilton, Jamie, already overtaken Max Verstappen into the first corner, Jamie.
He's absolutely nailed it. I mean, it was like a massive gap as well towards turn 1. I mean, that was a big shock, I must admit, but maybe Verstappen as well didn't want to risk it towards turn 1 and ruin the championship or the race. But here we go. They go down the straight, and yeah, at the moment he's going to go in for it. He's gone in. Oh!
Wow!
He's pushed Hamilton off. Oh! Hamilton's way off the. Oh no, Hamilton's ahead. Sorry, he's gone way ahead somehow. He's taken the. Oh, that'll be interesting.
That to me, Jamie, that's a replication of what we saw in Saudi Arabia. That's a replication of what we saw in Brazil earlier in the year, where Max Verstappen simply doesn't hit his brakes soon enough and just drives on into the corner past the apex and doesn't take the corner.
I must admit,
result in some sort of penalty for Max. This is going to be very interesting to watch moving forward as to how Mercedes approaches it. Because I bet they're going to be on the phone in Michael Massey's ear, ringing down his ear right now, saying, "We've got to give him a penalty for that."
I think Mike Massey's looking forward to Christmas. He's had so much to deal with.
Surely Max literally did push him off. So surely if Hamilton slows down a little bit and doesn't look like he's gaining an advantage, does he really have to give that position back? Because neither of them looked like they were going to make the corner otherwise.
Well, no. Well, Lewis is already at the apex of the corner. Max just comes down on the inside. So that's Max at fault there for not realising that Lewis has already taken the corner. He's just. If Lewis hadn't made immediate action, Max would have driven into the side of him.
Yeah.
So I think, but yeah, first lap already in the books, and we've already had a lot of tasty action.
I'm not sure what's happened to George Russell though, because he's gone down in 19th position. So he's had a difficult start because he started, was it 17th maybe? So he's dropped a couple of places at least. Raikkonen's gone up and Mick Schumacher has. So we'll have to see the start as well. Sainz has overtaken Norris, but I don't know, because Norris had to go wide, whether he was compromised in there. Bottas has gone down to 8th. He looked like he'd overtaken Leclerc at one point. So again, issues for Bottas.
Yeah, Norris was right behind the Ferraris. Sorry, not Norris. Bottas was right behind the Ferraris, and just watching that replay of that corner incident, Jamie.
Yeah, I think
Max is not braking at all, is he?
It's not good when you that angle when they showed behind the cars then was great, and it kind of shows why it's bad move by Verstappen. But what I'll say is, if I was the race direction team, I'd just leave it as it is because Hamilton's back ahead.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Don't ruin it.
Yeah, the only way you would interfere would be, no investigation
they're going
necessary.
To investigate it.
No, it says no investigation necessary.
Oh, sorry. The moment it said race control, I thought, here we go.
The only reason why I would say that they would investigate it if there was significant contact between the two drivers, but there wasn't because Lewis made evasive action. But then when he went off on the slip, he still retained position. So I think it was ultimately I think Lewis has saved Max in that incident there from not getting a penalty. Because if he had came on behind Max, then there would have been a penalty.
And if you're Red Bull right now, because obviously being on the softs, you would have thought maybe we'd have a better start, that we'd be more grippier on that, as the lights went out. What do they do now? Because surely Mercedes are in a more comfortable position. They're on the longer lasting tyre. They're in the lead. What are we thinking here for Red Bull?
Well, I was just looking on some of the data about the tyres for Red Bull, and apparently Max has already used the medium tyre that he's got ready for waiting for him. He's already got some wear into that. So potentially maybe could he switch onto the hard tyre instead, which would be a much fresher tyre and could potentially pull him till the end of the race when he pit stops later on. It'd be interesting to see what the tyre change when it does happen, which is predicted to be around about somewhere between lap 15 and lap 20, they reckon, with this soft tyre. But if Max is pushing, it could be sooner than that. It could be, they could decide to bring him in sooner and go to a tube stop potentially. But I'm sure whatever Red Bull does, Mercedes will eagerly be waiting and reacting in the exact same manner to try and keep Lewis ahead on track. But I think the one swing that Red Bull has in their favour right now is because Perez is in third, and if he's able to stay with Max, then they can put some real pressure on Lewis and really get the advantage when it comes to the pit stops later on by keeping Perez out later and still pushing Lewis until Max makes his clean stop and then the ball is in Mercedes' court.
Yeah. Are we thinking maybe Perez, like you said, Perez pits first, and maybe because they're so close, whether that has to see Hamilton pit first?
I think they have to pit Verstappen first, just to make sure that his tyres are the fresher ones when it comes to the attack later on. Because there's no point of pitting Perez first and having him on fresher tyres when Max has still got to work through the field. It's not going to be helpful in that aspect if no one's putting pressure on Hamilton to stay ahead in the race. So I think they'll pit Verstappen first, but that's not going to be for another 10 laps or so at the minimum. Just watching the start again, absolutely brilliant start by Hamilton. He just makes the apex first on the corner, and it was just completely all on his own after that. And then he
nailed it.
And he goes to turn the corner. You could already see him position his car ready to turn the corner, and Max just continues on, just doesn't even hit the apex. He drives past the apex. It's like, that's a definite foul there. It's like in football when you have the last man back and the last man clearly trips up the attacker to stop him going through on goal. It's like the most blatant, obvious foul ever by Max there.
I'm just glad race control probably were relieved seeing that. I'm thinking, at least they didn't crash. We don't have to investigate.
I've just seen on the lap by lap.
That's damn.
Oh yeah. I mean, for Bottas today, it is simply just making sure that he gets into the points, I think.
Yeah, especially with the constructors.
Yeah. I mean, I think Mercedes would love to have him challenging up there and supporting Hamilton, but just the qualifying yesterday let him down, and it's going to be a tough ask without a safety car to get him up there, I think, because the Ferraris look quick and Norris looked quick in his McLaren as well. So I think it's going to be a really tough task to get Bottas into those podium positions.
I think it's interesting because you look at the Red Bulls, where, I mean, for Perez, it's not bad for him this season. I find it hard to believe he's going to finish fourth this season for the second year in a row. which at the start, in all fairness, the first few races this season, he was a bit hit and miss, but I'd still say that with his qualifying at least, but he's definitely been consistent, and I think, if anything, he's done Christian Horner's decision justice, which was to get rid of Albon and to bring in someone like Perez to help them compete a bit more up there.
I'm just trying to figure out what the hell BBC have done with their leaderboards, because it's all to hell now.
Is that?
I said the leaderboard that the BBC have put out have gone to mess. Normally they just have a nice simple layout, but they've put like the grid lineup and then the live lineup, and now they've messed it all up. What is going on? Why have they done that? Honestly, last race of the season, BBC, come on, sort it out.
They don't do F1 anymore, Jack.
No, well, clearly.
Eddie Jordan was on BBC Breakfast yesterday, and they asked him, is there going to be a crash? And he thinks there'll be a crash. But I'm like, Eddie Jordan would always say it'll be a crash. He wants crash. Of course, let's not forget, in '94, you had when Schumacher won his first championship, Damon Hill went out of the race or something like that, and then obviously that ruined the championship on the final day pretty much. So, but at the moment, Hamilton's in his own league. He's 2.1 seconds ahead now of Verstappen. But Red Bull keep talking to the FIA lot.
Well, I'm afraid, people, you're just going to have to deal with it because I can't sort it. So you can only see up to Kimi in 16th, but that's all you need to see.
That's right.
That's all you need to see.
In all fairness, who cares about the rest?
Yeah, I'll try and keep everybody else up to date with it, but...
I'm just trying to...
Just listening to that team radio then, Red Bull trying to fight the case for Max, saying that he should still be ahead because he was first at to the apex. I was like, well, no. Lewis was already turning into the corner, and Max was only at the apex because he didn't brake. So,
they're like little school children,
into the apex. Yeah, he wasn't even turning into the apex. He was driving past the apex.
Honestly. I think if Max had maybe waited one more lap and stuck with him, then maybe he might have been able to make a more fairer overtake. But the fact that he just dived down that the inside, but neither of them were never going to make that corner if he stuck there. So
no. I think the most significant thing right now is the fact that Lewis is still banking in fastest laps, despite the fact being on the medium tyre, and Max behind him, and the gap's building, and Max is losing time to Lewis already. I'm sure only a couple of laps ago it was about a second between them, but now it's 2.1.
Yeah.
Yeah, Verstappen's just told when the engineer said to him, just get your head down and crack on, and literally Verstappen's reacted and said, I mean, incredible. What are they doing here? I'd imagine those are comments towards race control.
I think they've been fair, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't understand what, I don't blame him for trying the move, because in all fairness, when it comes to the first few corners of the race, that might be the closest you get to someone like Hamilton at the front. But, he tried, didn't work, and, I don't think there's anything wrong with them being where they are now, because, Verstappen, he covered the whole track. How could Hamilton have... it's ridiculous.
There's an 8-second gap, I believe, between Perez and Sainz before a huge DRS train of, I think it goes all the way down to...
Ocon, mate, wow.
Yeah.
Well, no, actually,
Ocon,
all the way,
Ocon
I think,
around,
to be honest.
Bottas, Ocon, yeah.
I know this may seem daft, but it feels like the backbenchers might have something to say about this championship, where, when they start doing the overlapping, you just never know. There could be moments where Hamilton's behind one of them for too long and he can't overtake, but there's probably enough overtake around here at the moment. Oh dear. Verstappen saying the rears are starting to struggle a little bit.
Apparently, Jos Verstappen's walked out the back of the Red Bull garage.
He's gone to FIA.
He can't watch though, can he, Conor? Because did you see him at the start of the race? He looked like He looked like someone who's trying to watch England in a penalty shootout. Just can't watch.
He's gone to see Michael.
I don't think I could if it was my son. Not that I have a son, but if it was my son, you know.
Thinking about this now, you know, pit stops here in Abu Dhabi. How long do they take? Because of course you've got the unusual pit exit that goes underneath the track as well.
Well, the pit stopping was really crucial in 2010 when Vettel won it, because that championship on the final day was between him, Hamilton, Button, and Webber and Alonso, and it was literally about the pit stopping. And Renault ended up having Petrov ahead of Alonso and Webber, and they couldn't overtake him for the rest of the race. They got it absolutely spot on, and Ferrari ballsed it up with Massa's pit stop as well. So who knows? And I think you're right, Conor. You know, that exit does take time. But the good thing is about that exit, it takes you quite far advanced off the circuit. So it's a weird one. It is a weird one. I quite like it, but it's a weird one.
Just looking at the field, and if it takes about 30 seconds, then we're looking at, let's see, so the gap 2 to Verstappen, 6 to Perez, that's 8, and then between Perez and Sainz was about 8 as well, so that's 16, and then it's the DRS train after that. So I think if, say, Verstappen was to pit right now, you'll maybe come out back again around Vettel and Stroll, around that region there, and have to climb through the field like that way. But I'm not too sure. I can't remember if it's everyone else is on softs other than Hamilton and Bottas, is it? Or let me have a look. I had the leaderboard up before. Why am I just trying to remember
Ferrari
this?
tried it. I think Ferrari tried it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they did in the end. No, I think
Alonso's on the hard tyres, so that could be extremely difficult for Verstappen if he was to climb through the field, because Alonso's not going to make it easy for him at all.
Sonoda's
Gasly's just going to let him pass because Red Bull's Red Bull, whether you're AlphaTauri or you're Red Bull. So I just think Verstappen's going to have to build up this gap a little bit, and Alonso is going to be the key car really. If they can pit and get Verstappen out ahead of Alonso, then it should be easier for him to drive through the field. But if they pit behind and get behind Alonso, it could be really challenging for him, because all those guys below are on hard tires or the mediums, so they're going to be going longer into their stint into the race. Whereas a lot of the top 10, besides Tsunoda and Bottas, and of course Hamilton, are on the soft tires as well, so they're going to be on the same kind of strategy. So it's all about building up the gap now, I think, for Verstappen, and that's why he's not really attacking Hamilton at the moment, just staying with him a little bit. The gap's 4 seconds now, so clearly he's not attacking at all. But significantly, the gap to Alonso is increasing a little bit. I think it's improved by like two seconds over the past couple of laps, and we're in lap 12 now. So we're looking to approach. Yeah. So the gap between Bottas and Verstappen now is 22.3 seconds. So that could be the pit stop window that Red Bull are looking at, and being closer to lap 15, which is where a lot of the statisticians and predictions said where the first pit stop could take place for the softs. Could start to see some action soon for Red Bull in the pit lane if they want to try and jump ahead of Hamilton in any sort of pit stop strategy, which we've seen them do quite successfully over the season so far.
Yeah. So. And to be honest, Jamie, I've just watched that replay of the incident between Verstappen and Hamilton on lap 1. Verstappen, it looked like how I try and overtake on the video game, just make a dive down the inside and just hope.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Yeah, that was basically what I looked like if you're watching both the onboards of Hamilton and Verstappen there. And
you know, don't you? Like when you do that move, you know that there could be punishment for it, or consequences, and that sadly for Verstappen is a consequence for him. Mm-hmm. As I said, I don't blame him for trying, because we all said Abu Dhabi's a Mercedes circuit. I mean, look at it; he's 5 seconds ahead. I mean, it's a one-horse race all of a sudden. This. I don't think the pit stops will matter unless there's major mistakes happening.
Is this a hype that we normally get? Is this a hype we normally get for Liverpool United?
Yeah, exactly that. Boring, goalless draws.
They hype it, and it's 0-0.
Well, do you remember the Rosberg-Hamilton race in 2016? That one wasn't exactly exciting either, was it?
Hang on a second. You said boring goalless draws between Liverpool and Manchester United. I think the last time Liverpool Manchester United plays, it wasn't boring at all. In fact,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Away from earlier in the game.
Hey, I had to go and see advisors after that game. Worst day of my life.
Worst day of my life. I think Mick Schumacher's the only one that's made a pit stop so far. Am I right?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out why she's minute and 9 seconds behind everyone. Yeah. Well, not behind everyone, behind the race leader. So, yeah.
I bet George Russell's will be delighted once this season's out of the way. He'll be like, fine, I'm in a good car.
Yeah. I think obviously he'll be happier that he's left it in a better position than when he first came in. I mean, the fact that they're now going to be higher than Alfa and Haas is huge for Williams, isn't it, going into next year? So.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it'll be interesting because, does George Russell go for it straight away at Mercedes? Does he, look at it and think, I won't have many opportunities here, I've got to go for it straight away? Or will he learn very quickly that...
action in the pit lane. It's Red Bull, hard tyres coming out, and it's Max, he's in.
All right.
So here we go, hard tyres coming out for Max Verstappen, looking to go potentially to the end of the race on these hard tyres. Clean pit stop for Max in the box. And he's on his way towards the exit of the pit lane, 2.1 seconds stop time. Sainz passes him on the pit straight. Norris is coming around that corner as well, so Norris will pass him, as will Charles Leclerc, and will Tsunoda get there as well? Oh, Charles actually doesn't get there. Just ahead. Oh, Charles has run off. Charles Leclerc has run off. I think Max might have cut him off on the apex.
That was an attempt on Verstappen's championship like that.
Oh, Charles is locked up as well, going into the corner. I want to see that exit. I want to see that exit from Max again, from the pit lane, and where Charles was on the track, because that's interesting. But Max has easily taken Norris on that straight. So Max has managed to pit and return to the track in around about 5th, 6th position. So you would think if Lewis was to pit,
Perry coming in,
he'd be third or fourth when he comes back out.
Perry coming in. Carlos Sainz didn't have good terms with Red Bull when he left. If Verstappen tries to overtake, he might just go, sorry, Christian. Just saying.
Mercedes getting ready to do a pit stop, and it is Bottas coming in. Hard tyres for Bottas. Out he goes. Last race for Mercedes today. Oh, it's Hamilton. No, they're saying it's Hamilton. I thought it was a blue helmet. Yeah. I thought it was a blue helmet.
I can't, because hasn't Hamilton got like a rainbow helmet this weekend?
It might have been the reflections from the lights. I thought I saw blue. But yeah, hard tyres for Hamilton. Onto track, and he is.
Is that a bit early? Is that a bit early? Do you not think, for Mercedes being on mediums?
Yeah, and that's what I think. I think they've reacted to what Red Bull have done and doing the same strategy, and crucially for Hamilton as well, he's ahead of Sainz. So Sainz is a nice little benchmarker for him. And then we've seen a replay of Charles Leclerc, and that's just driver error from Charles Leclerc. He's too busy riding on the curb to hit the corner, and he's gone off the track as a result.
This pit stop has been a bit awkward though, pit exit in the past, hasn't it? Like if you're full speed there and their drivers are coming out, it can be a bit awkward, can't it? So
I'm not a fan.
You could say that Charles took action to avoid hitting into Verstappen as he came out of the pit lane, but that's not Verstappen's fault then. And then
that was
Charles
almost
just lost.
That was almost execute order 66. That wasn't it?
Yeah, I was just going to say the same thing.
Charles has just lost control there because he's ridden too high on the brake curb and has just lost traction on the track. So you can't really blame Max for that.
Mattia Binotto was talking to Toto before, and he went, "Do it."
That film is classic for its own reasons.
I mean, Jamie, should we just stop the race right now? Perez winning.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, oh yeah. I mean, Perez can't get third. He's definitely finishing fourth in the championship. So, but last season he was at another team and he's got fourth. So I think that's something to take note. I mean, for any of our viewers, as you may know,
So
I'm a
pit
big
for Ferrari,
yeah.
Charles Leclerc's coming in, hard tyres for Leclerc as well. Looks like everyone's going to go onto the hard tyres. Slow pit stop though for Charles. He was stationary for quite some time there, 3.4 seconds.
Classic
Ocon's
Ferrari.
in the pit lane as well, 2.7 for Ocon in the pit. But yeah, Ferrari making action, and I don't know if they can lose third in the constructors now. I haven't really checked.
No, I don't. No, I think they've sealed it, haven't they?
Yeah. But yeah, pit stop there for Ferrari. Charles Leclerc back out onto 16th. Hamilton is pushing towards Perez now, closing that gap, as is Max Verstappen on Carlos Sainz. These two are battling out now on the track, entering the last sector. So
I don't know why, but this reminds me of 2014 Abu Dhabi, where it went to the final race between Rosberg and Hamilton, and it ended up being really bad for Rosberg at the end. And it was a double points. It was the one time they decided to do double points in the final race, which was horrible, wasn't it? So for any kids in the future looking at the history of championships, they'll think, well, that championship wasn't close. No, it was. It was just the double points makes it look like it wasn't.
Hamilton has just put in the fastest lap on the hard tyres. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's what? There's only one winner here, lad.
Yeah.
Sadly, F1. I don't blame the hype. It had to be hyped, but sadly, I think we've got an obvious win here.
Yeah, I just got the chat up on our watch along. Thanks for everyone for joining. PM Motor Parts. Quick questions: who do you want to win the race? We all pretty much said that at the start. That Hamilton with our heads, and Jamie wants Verstappen with his heart, and as does Jack. Who do you think deserves to win the race? Well, that's a different question altogether, I think.
I mean, if we're talking about currently, I would say Hamilton. You know, he nailed it in that first corner, and he was very calm with the Verstappen braking at the very end of that corner. So, yeah, it's Hamilton for me, and it's the fact that he's blitzed it. He's just gone on to the distance, and that just sums up Hamilton in a nutshell. Because let's be honest, out of all the drivers we've watched in F1 in the last 20 years. Who's the one driver can you rely on to bring it home, even in the most toughest situations? It's Lewis Hamilton. I mean, look at that win in Brazil recently. I mean, wow, what a race win that was. And it just sums it up. As I've always said, I'm not a fan of Hamilton for other reasons, but I will always credit someone when they're good at it, and that's Hamilton. So yeah, I think we'll see what happens between now and the end of the race. But, we got to remember as well, this guy's going to have more world championships than any other driver.
Yeah.
So I do hope Schumacher's watching.
And Luke, our fellow member of the Lex Talk Sport team, has put, if Lewis wins, do you think he retires or does he carry on racing for a few more years? Jack, we already know that he's going to be racing for more years to come in the future. But yeah, it's going to be a challenge for him to win more world titles potentially with these regulations coming in.
Yeah, I think has he got one more year left? Did he sign a 2-year deal? Because at the beginning of this year, so he's got one more year left. I don't know whether that, like we said when the contract was up in the air at the beginning of this season, whether we would just see what next year is going to be like. Because like we've all said, it's a new regulation change completely. There's not more. I would say Mercedes don't have more room in terms of budget like they used to, compared to say like some of the lower teams. So I think it will be a little bit different. I still obviously think Mercedes are going to be pretty high up on that order. It's just whether anybody else alongside maybe Red Bull, if McLaren come into play, if Ferrari a lot quicker. So are we going to get multiple teams? Hopefully we do, but normally we see a great season before the regulations change, and then a team dominates for 4 years in a row. So hopefully we're not gonna see that. But I think Hamilton for sure is definitely got next season, like we say. But if he wins today, he wins 8 world championships. He's the highest in terms of records. He's got nothing else really to prove. He could go to 10 maybe, but does he really want to? Only he knows that question.
I know I'm not an F1 driver or anything like that, but it must take some out of you.
Yeah.
It must. It's a lot. Hamilton's been racing for 28 years. He's been around the world, God knows how many times. He's been doing F1 since 2007.
Yeah.
So I think the fact that it must take so much out of him. And, that's not for, I mean, I don't know his private life, but, as far as I'm aware, he's not married. He hasn't got a kid or anything. Does he look at F1 and think, I've done that? Do I want a family? I can't do that. Well, I'm traveling the world trying to be the best in the world. Stuff like that. I don't know. But I will say this now, sports personality of the year is next week, I think. And I do think you've got quite an interesting scenario between Raducanu and Lewis Hamilton. I'd still probably say Raducanu because it was absolutely incredible what she did. But I think for Hamilton to do what he's done, to win 8 world championships, I think he's got a fair shout at it.
Would he not? Would Raducanu not win Young Sports Personality of the Year, and then Hamilton wins
Not
the
bad
main
shout.
one? Give them both.
Yeah, that's like Lewandowski with, we'll create Striker of the Year. Oh, right, I wonder why. But yeah, no, you could do that. I think that would make sense, actually.
I mean, Hamilton.
Is that a thing?
I'm sure Young Sports Personality
I'm sure
is.
they've got,
Or newcomer or something, is it?
Well, they're doing the usual overseas thing, which involves Tom Brady, Djokovic, and Verstappen.
Yeah, Lewis is on the back end of Perez here on the DRS straight, looking to overtake him.
Perez takes him out.
And Lewis has got the job done almost easily, but Perez has come back on the inside. This is the bus stop section of the track.
Lewis
has got him, and he's got the DRS as well, I think. Oh no, Perez has got DRS, so they're going to challenge again into this corner.
What? He went off track limit, didn't he? But sorry, I thought for a moment he lost control of his car.
That was really close on that exit.
Yeah. So Perez is ahead still. Wow. Going towards the hotel.
Oh.
What a hotel view today for that, folks. Ooh, Perez, careful.
It's squeaky bum time for the pair of them.
It really is for Hamilton fans. Perez fans, I don't mind. He's getting fourth either way. Has he gone to the pits? No, he hasn't.
I think Perez is getting a bonus.
Lewis is going to take him on this one, I think.
Oh, I'll tell you what, Perez will...
Perez is going to get a bonus for this.
Yeah, he'll have to give him one.
He's closing the gap up for Verstappen.
He is. It's now 2.8. Now 2.5.
Oh, look at that on the start-finish straight.
Hamilton saying it's some dangerous driving. You know what? Perez won't care. I think he's taking it for the team.
Perez is like, and what?
Yeah, it's like, I got nothing to lose.
Here we go. Hamilton DRS. This should be easy now for him. Verstappen's right behind him, though.
Verstappen's, there he is on the straight. Fair play, Perez. Fair play. Good racing. He's going to give it a go again. Go on, lad. Nah, he's too far behind.
And there we go. Hamilton's going off. Perez does have DRS, as does Verstappen.
Well, surely.
Oh, did you see how Hamilton cut across him when he overtook him on DRS then? Jeez.
And Verstappen has taken Perez into the corner. The easiest overtake of Verstappen's life. And there we go. 1-2. Hamilton, Verstappen, Perez in third. Still yet to pit stop.
Bottas is like, what's going on?
All the way in fifth.
Crucially for Hamilton, he's pulled away even in those instances where Perez was holding him up, and the gap is 1.6 between the two. So at the moment, no DRS for Verstappen, and we're basically into the same scenario that we were at the end of lap 1, and now Perez comes in for his pit stop, and it looks as though it's going to be the hard tyre is the tyre of choice for all drivers, going in on the one-stop strategy.
I'm loving that Checo is a legend for Max.
Yeah. Is that what Max just said?
Perez do much more than what he did there, because he just valiantly held him up for a lap and a half.
Absolutely.
And just the DRS zones came too quickly for Perez to really hold that position for long enough for Verstappen to join the battle, because we even saw on that final straight where where Hamilton got the job done, Verstappen was in the background waiting to pounce, and one or two more corners and Verstappen would have been right there in that battle, I think. So
let's be honest, when you look at Perez's career, I think he's given some drivers hope to think, even though they may not be regarded as a great driver, he's done all right in his 10 years in F1. I mean, I must admit, I was quite nervous ahead of this season to think, you know, he's not been up there. Last time he was up there, kind of with McLaren, it didn't go so well. But yeah, I think it's nice to hear Verstappen say that about Perez. 2 seconds still though, but it's a lot better than what it was. It was 5 second gap.
2 seconds a long. 2 seconds is a long time though in Formula One, Jamie.
It is. It's a long time.
Yeah.
The problem is that Lewis. Sorry, Jim. I was going to say Lewis might have damaged his tyres a little bit with that battle with Perez. But obviously Max, in catching him up again, might have done the same thing. So
I think Perez should have just used the excuse if I fell asleep. Been a long season, Lewis. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's now 2.5 seconds. Oh no, well 2.3, but yeah, it's.
We need a safety car.
Yeah.
We need red flags. More red flags.
That was my fear after qualifying, when I thought Verstappen getting pole's perfect. That's exactly what he'd have needed to start this race. But it was always going to be down to the race pace, and it's pretty much a Mercedes track.
That's what Lewis has proven though over the past 3 races: Brazil, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia. He's just got the race pace now in that car after the engine penalty. And
he's proven yet again he can do it when it matters.
Well, I think credit has to go to Mercedes as a whole as well, because we saw them when they went into winter testing and the first couple of races. They didn't look, or especially testing, they didn't look great. Both drivers weren't happy. They were spinning off a bit, which we don't normally see, and neither of them were very happy with the balance. And as the years gone on, they've got better and better and better. And we've seen the Mercedes who have won 7 constructors championships in a row now. So I think full credit has to go to the full team, as well as obviously Lewis Hamilton, really picking up the pace in the last few months or so.
And the fact that they're now going to win 8 championships? Yeah, in a row. I mean, that's mad to do it for that long.
I think now's a good time of any to talk about Kimi Räikkönen leading Formula One. I mean,
it's gonna be weird, isn't it?
Jamie, you've been watching Formula One more than I have. What are your favorite moments of Kimi? Because obviously I'm just going to say, "Shut up, I know what I'm doing," and all that stuff. So,
Well, I mean, it was this very circuit, wasn't it? In 2012, where he won the race in a Lotus. So, I mean, that was a great season anyway. That had 8 different race winners in 2012. It's one of my favourites. That one.
Yeah.
It was just when he said, "Leave me alone. I know what I'm doing." Ended up getting quote T-shirts for sale, all sorts. The Lotus team, they made quite a bit of money from that.
I think the best thing for him was that one in Brazil as well. Well, he missed he tried to go up the bit where all the bikes and that go off the side of the track, and he had to spin round and come back out.
He wasted so much time.
It was brilliant. It was brilliant.
It was so random.
It was like a Mario Kart shortcut. He thought he was going to take a quick shortcut.
Yeah. It was so funny. or when was it? I still think the ice cream when he went onto the yacht and just gave up in Monaco was one of the funniest things. Or when Martin Brundle it's before the Brazil race. It was back in the 2000s when ITV had F1. When Martin Brundle goes up to Kimi and he just goes, "You just missed a presentation by Pele," and he goes, "Yeah, I know," and he goes, "Where were you?" "I was having a shit." It's just brilliant. Or what was it, that video that they did Kimi on the F1 YouTube channel, and then Kimi just goes, he just says one word, and then I can't remember, but it's just I can't remember what they asked. They ask all the drivers a question, and he just says one word. It's just typical Kimi Räikkönen. Or when he was drunk at the FIA end of season ceremony thing, he was so pissed.
So good.
I absolutely love Kimi. But I think, to be honest, it'll be weird because Kimi Räikkönen to me is kind of like Alonso or Rossi to me, where they've been racing since I've been watching racing. So it'd be weird without Kimi. We kind of had it with Alonso where he was gone for a couple of years and now he's back. But yeah, it'll be sad to see Kimi go. I think for what he did at Ferrari for a long time in his second stint, he was so consistent
Yeah.
at getting podiums and getting points for Vettel and for Ferrari at the time. So I think he's a proper racer, and I'm sure he'll do other things after this. He's a family man as well, isn't he? You can tell from his Instagram photos, and obviously his family are there with him on the track. He probably will just be happy to just spend time with family and just take some time out.
Yeah.
What have you thought about Kimi and Conor and Jack? Because it feels like I still forget he won a world championship in a way.
Yeah, 2007, wasn't it?
Yeah. He wasn't supposed to win it in a way. It was supposed to be between Hamilton and Alonso. It was such a weird season.
Yeah, he was behind, wasn't he? He was in third place going into that final race.
Yeah.
Managed to go out and get the job done. But I think there's not really a character like him on the Formula One grid, someone that's very reserved and very, he doesn't really want to talk to the media at all. He'd rather do his own thing. And, he said that in one of his only couple of interviews that when it comes to Formula One, he enjoys the driving, but he doesn't enjoy the other things that come along with being a Formula One driver. And
is he retiring here?
I think he might be. He's driving very slow, which would be an unfortunate end for him.
Button did it as well, didn't he? Do you remember his in 2016? I think he came back obviously in 2017, but he went out.
He spun going into the bus stop area, and he hit the barriers, so he might need a front wing change, but depends how hard the hit was on the front and if it had any sort of shockwave damage going through the rest of the car. But definitely a front wing change is going to be needed for Raikkonen, whether or not he's going to have to retire.
Brake lock-up, it looked like. I don't know if it was rear brakes or he just gave up on him, didn't it? That's a bit strange. Not what you want when you're going 100, 200 mile an hour on that main straight.
No.
Oh, George Russell's gone off the track as well. Front wing change for Raikkonen at the moment. And that's it. That's it for Kimi.
Is he giving up?
Yeah.
Oh,
He
wow.
turned the car off, and that's how Kimi Raikkonen's Formula One career is going to end, unfortunately.
Oh, that's sad.
Oh, Russell looks like he's lost drive as well, is he?
Yeah, George Russell went off the track at the moment for Williams, but I don't know if he's having to come into the pits. It's not said on the graphic. Thing, but George Russell is driving slow around, so he's going to have to come into the pits for some sort of change. And he's got no sort of turning whatsoever. I think he might have.
Kimi's going to go onto one of the yachts in the marina. It's all right.
Yeah. Remember in 2013 in Yas Marina, he just left the circuit. He just left. 12 months after he won the race. There, it was so cool.
I think George lost the power in his car because he was going really slow down the straight to take evasive action. So I think George could be another retirement potentially, which would bring an end to his Williams career.
Lost it in fifth gear.
Such a shame. I'd have loved to have seen Kimi do a wheelie, donut. So not really a donut on the straight like Alonso and Vettel and Hamilton did once.
I think that's what everyone was hoping for. We saw with Alonso and Lewis, and Vettel was it as well that did it.
It was a nice touch towards Alonso. That
maybe Giovinazzi will let him borrow his car.
Alonso.
George is retired as well.
Wow,
George is out.
What a shame.
It makes me want to go and see the Kingsman though. Looking at that car.
Next time we'll see George in Formula One car, he'll be in that Mercedes, won't he?
I think he's testing in Abu Dhabi, is he, for Mercedes next week?
Yeah.
If I'm right.
I wouldn't be surprised just to get a bit of a...
Which made me laugh last year because Alonso took part in the young driver test for Alpine. He took some of the young driver places because he wanted to get in it.
I think Giovinazzi is as well, even though he's leaving.
Is he?
From what I read.
For a Ferrari?
I don't know, actually. I read that he was going to do it, though. I don't know why, though. Yeah, I feel like with Giovinazzi, it's kind of like Fisichella. when he was at Ferrari for a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like an Italian kind of love affair, really.
I've got to say, am I the only one who actually thinks he's had a really good season this year?
Yeah, I think he's done all right. The problem is, Bottas has become available, hasn't he? That's your problem.
Yeah, and did they see obviously the market for in China to bring in Guan Yu Zhou as well? Did they see that and they thought we can't not?
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. We haven't had the Chinese Grand Prix since 2019, have we?
No.
Will we have it next year? Because I don't know. Kelly Piquet, who's that?
It's Max Verstappen's girlfriend, isn't it?
Oh, is it? It's not any relation to Gerard.
No, Nelson.
Or Nelson.
No, it is Nelson.
Oh, shit.
It is Nelson.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, so it's just like Van der Beek and Dennis Bergkamp's daughter. I hope Donny Van der Beek's new baby will be as good as him, or join United and be the next Dennis Bergkamp. We shall find out in the next 20 years. Well, I don't want to disappoint you, lads, but this race has been diabolical, hasn't it? It's so obvious what's going to happen. Thing is, though, we've had races like this, haven't we, lads, where, there's a lot of people today watching this race acting like they're F1 fans and they've watched the season, they haven't.
Yeah.
Mark Goldbridge and Fogden, for example, who are live right now on YouTube. The way I see it is that, this is like a typical race where, when it's throughout the season, it's okay. If you come second, it's a good result still. But sadly, it's just had to be one of those races where it's the final race, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Where it's just so obvious who's going to win.
There are people today who are watching it a bit like when a big event in boxing or something happens and they somehow all think that they're boxing fans.
Yeah, that's so true.
But I mean, obviously a little bit disappointing that loads of people are tuning in and it's a little bit dull. They may have to look at the circuit again and think, how the hell are we going to change this again?
Well, no, it's simple. Brazil needs to be last. I've said this for so many years.
Yeah,
Brazil used to be last. It should still be last. It is a great circuit. It's a proper racing circuit. This Abu Dhabi is just an event. I'm sorry. It reminds me of Singapore in a way.
I think because there's so much runoff area, it doesn't really punish the drivers so much for making errors as well. Bottas is in the pits now. He's going to jump onto the hard tyres as the camera does a weird 360 spin for some reason.
I thought the guy literally just slipped, just jumped.
just decided to do a flip in the middle of the pit lane.
That was amazing. It was so random.
That'll make anyone get dizzy watching that coverage.
Whoa. Like the Matrix.
Yeah, but
that comes out 22nd of December.
It does.
I'm looking forward to that.
Going on what you said before, with this track, if the cars with the new regulations next season are all more bunched together, then this track would work because then you do get, you'd see more of these.
Yeah.
More overtaking tighter opportunities. Yeah. But it is what it is, and we don't really see much change in order. This is going to be the same story because it's just one of those. It's just one of those tracks really where it doesn't really punish the driver for going off circuit too much.
No. And this is it. As I said before, it's like any normal race. This where, Mercedes will take a win there, Red Bull will take a win there, and today it's Mercedes getting it. But I agree with you where, some other circuits next season could really be good for the new regulations to make it more competitive for all the cars. So, I mean, I'm trying to think straight away what kind of circuits would we see that in.
Well, I think Singapore could be a good circuit next season because
I hope so, but it's so tight, isn't it? It's so tight. There's hardly any overtaking. So
if the cars are much similar and closer together, then it comes more crucial in those DRS zones, and with the tight corners as well, you're going to see a lot more.
You'll see a lot more on the straight where the start finishes. I think that could be interesting. I mean, who knows? We might not have Singapore again next year. I don't know. I mean, the problem is with certain tracks, when they haven't had a race for so long, they don't have the money anymore.
Yeah.
We'll have to see. I mean, I still think we'll have a bit of next season where it's hit and miss for certain tracks. due to COVID. But we'll see. I mean, Miami's next year, and that's one to look forward to as a new track. Saudi did a good job really last weekend.
And that's the second race next season.
Is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is it Australia supposed to be first?
Bahrain,
Saudi
Arabia.
Australia's in like November
18th,
again, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe 18th, 19th race.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It was meant to be this year, wasn't it? But did Qatar replace it? Or
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
Is anyone
I really like Qatar.
Anyone got any better maths knowledge than me? I mean, Bottas is in 9th at the minute. What happens with the constructors right now?
They still win.
The Hamilton's winning, so it doesn't matter, does it?
Yeah, because they only need 16 points, is it, to win?
17 points.
Oh, so
17.
yeah, so the fact it doesn't matter that Verstappen and Perez are second and third then.
No, so long as Hamilton wins, then they'll be fine.
Right. So Bottas could just drive around and wave to the fans, really.
Yeah.
Hamilton's discussing with Bono about potential second pit stop, so
Yeah, that's interesting. That they're clearly being well prepared if anything happens.
After the
I
race,
like this helmet cam. Sorry, Jack. I like this helmet cam with Charles Leclerc, by the way.
No, it's
good,
good.
isn't it?
It is good.
Really intriguing.
I was literally just going to say
it must be in his way. That's why the Leclerc keeps going off the track. Oh, the fucking camera's in the way.
I was literally just going to say, I mean, at the minute, 5 seconds ahead, Hamilton, his engineer might as well just go, do you want chicken or beef after the race?
Yeah, I'm just ordering a Domino's now, mate.
I thought he was a vegetarian. Isn't Hamilton a vegetarian?
Oh, maybe
he's a
he is.
vegan, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's a vegan, isn't he? Yeah.
Do you want
I've always
plant-based
thought
or
about trying that,
fish-based?
but I just like meat too much. I like eating shit. Maybe when the doctor tells me you need to eat better, all right, fine, I'll listen.
I'll eat some plants. Is Bottas going to make this move? No.
No. I do love that hotel building. A friend of mine, she's never been to the F1, but work sent her to Abu Dhabi, and she decided to actually try and stay at that hotel. And it was like June time last year or the year before, I can't remember. And she sent me a photo of the hotel view from there, and it is pretty cool. But the problem was there's nothing going on the circuit, so she kind of just she wanted to give it a go. She said it was a lot cheaper than normal rates apparently, but that's because obviously on a race week it's probably a grand a night or something like that. God knows, probably even more than that.
Yeah, Verstappen fallen behind Hamilton. Lewis, is that Valtteri? Yeah, Valtteri's got the job done on Charles there.
Right,
That's a great shot of that bus stop section. It was a brilliant shot.
It's weird, Conor, because they've done it for years, F1, where they always try different shots, but then they only do it for 1 or 2 races, then you forget about it. It's really weird.
Yeah.
I don't know why they just do that, but because there is a rule in the FIA where the teams get paid for putting the cameras on those cars, but they have to anyway. But they get paid for it, even though some of the engineers and all I'll piss off. I'm doing something on the engineer, but the teams all get money for doing this because it helps the coverage and stuff like that. But yeah, I forgot what I was going to say.
Giovinazzi, I think, is it Giovinazzi? Yeah,
it is, isn't it?
Yeah, Giovinazzi pulling off to the side.
Safety car? Come on.
Do you remember when they did that thermal imaging, Jack?
Yes.
When they used to show you the heat of the tyres, and I always thought, what's the point?
Oh, yeah, Giovinazzi's going to have to pull off on the side, but he's very much near to a slip road, so I think they'll just wheel that car back. Could be virtual safety car potentially, but it won't take long to move that car, I think. It's at the end of the new banked corner though, where they come flying through. So at the end of near the end of sector 2, and start sector 3, it looks as though it will be a safety car because of the way that the cars are coming around the corner.
Come on.
I'm just surprised that they've not really gone really hard with the yellow flags and signaled for a safety car, because it is right on that apex of that corner.
Yeah.
Come from it.
Yeah, it's a bit weird. They're taking their time, aren't they?
Yeah, virtual safety car. So limit your speed, but the gaps are pretty much staying as they were. And no overtaking, of course, in that start of sector 3 section on 9 and 10, whilst the marshals come out and push that car backwards towards that slip road, and then we'll resume racing again, most likely. Yeah, Ferrari are in the pits. Charles Leclerc coming in for a second pit stop. Hard tyres are coming off, medium tyres are going on, and out he goes once more again. So Charles Leclerc pushing for third, maybe?
Has Alonso not pit yet? It's a good time for him if he can get in there. Or has he not gone?
He's not pitted, actually, yet. He's 4th at the moment, so I would be surprised if he doesn't pit now.
Yeah.
Gasly as well. Red Bull are getting ready to pit someone. Sounds like it probably will be Verstappen.
Alonso's gone round.
Yeah, Verstappen's coming in. Verstappen is coming in. He's coming in, and he's going to put on another set of hard tyres.
Right.
So
virtual safety car, okay.
Oh, it was a bit last minute. Was it for Red Bull? Or...
Yeah.
Let's hope they haven't got Perez's tyres.
Was going to do. I think they were going to see what Lewis was going to do, and Lewis stayed out, but Verstappen came in. But he's going to file behind Nicholas Latifi. So he's right at the back of the order.
Championship's over, he's last.
Oh, he actually just comes ahead of Latifi. Perez is in as well. He's going to come in for a set of hard tyres as well. Hamilton continues on, still virtual safety car. Lap 37 or 58, so we've got roughly 21 or so laps to go.
This is interesting, though, Conor, because Hamilton said about 20 laps ago when the hard tyre went on, are we really going to go to the end on these?
Mercedes have just, they asked FIA just then, please, not safety car, please.
Alonso's in the pits, Gasly's in the pits. If it goes to safety car, though, that's a perfect time for Hamilton to pit. It's 23 seconds between Max and Hamilton at the moment, so could be enough time for Lewis to pit and still get ahead of Max, even with the safety car speed.
Do you think Michael Massey's like giggling because Toto said don't do safety car, and he's got a big red button that says safety car?
Yeah.
And he's like, and he's like ready to press the button.
I'm gonna press it.
What's the name of the safety? He's looking at his radio for the safety car drivers. He's like, I'm about. Do you want me to call them?
Virtual safety car is ending. Virtual safety car is ending. But yeah, so Verstappen's going to go through the blue flags, but there's a massive gap between him and Hamilton. But of course, Verstappen has the fresher tyres by 23 laps.
Yeah, see, that's the thing now.
And pitted, of course, crucially under the virtual safety car. So here we go.
This will be interesting. Well, it's last ditch efforts now, isn't it? It's now or never. 20
laps to go. Jamie, back. Does Verstappen get it done? Does he overtake Lewis Hamilton?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, Hamilton has been so quick today, though, hasn't he? He's been brutal. So, I mean, already he's got it down to exactly 17 seconds. We'll see. I'd love to know if there's a race. They normally show a race predictor thing, don't they? Like to see that right now.
Yeah, so 20 laps. Can he claw it back with fresher tyres? This might not be as rubbish as we thought.
Yeah, maybe I should just shut up.
Alonso's overtaken Yuki Tsunoda now as well, so he's on fresher tyres. Bottas could be under pressure from Alonso if he has fresher tyres now as well.
One thing's for sure, Hamilton's not going to pit now. He's not going to pit unless there's another safety car.
Yeah.
So Hamilton's got to manage these tyres until the end. And if there's anyone that's great at managing tyres on a Formula One track, it's Lewis Hamilton. But when he's going up against Max Verstappen on fresh tyres, who's been pretty much as equal
He's just
throughout
got
the year.
fastest lap.
He's took a
Just got
second out.
fastest lap.
Uh-oh.
Challenge is on for Hamilton.
Uh-oh.
Verstappen has got himself a point at least, maybe, if he can get fastest lap. I know that won't change anything, but he can decrease the gap.
Verstappen's eyes have just lit up here. And he's like, yes.
Yeah. I love the camera footage of their visors in the dark. It's great. I love when they do that. Bit of a risk leaving me out. No, Hamilton's just said. Ooh. Oh! So he's already closed the second out, hasn't he? Pretty much.
Yeah. 8 tenths a lap, they said.
Shit.
So
Yeah, forget what I said, lads. This is going to be a great race.
You're going to say at the end, I knew this was going to be a good race.
Yeah. That's what Eddie Jordan used to say. Jake, I told you from the start. I love Eddie Jordan. He's got a band, hasn't he? I keep forgetting he's got a band.
Eddie, you've dropped a £50 note.
Yeah. Remember when it was raining and they just hung out in the McLaren hospitality, and then Eddie Jordan decided to get himself a cup of soup.
Back in the day.
What a man. Can't go wrong with his shirt.
I'll give it to about lap 45, and I will remove who you think will win the World Championship, because Driver of the Day, of course, will come up as well.
A lot of people have been on social media and said that, vote for Kimi.
Yeah.
So I reckon that'll happen. I do like the driver.
But he won't be in his car to receive the interview for Driver of the Day,
Oh, no. Can you imagine him? They'll do it. Well, we've got him live from his yacht. Another fastest lap, 126.1 from Max. So it's 15.7, the gap.
He's only a 1/6 of a second quicker now, though, than Hamilton.
Yeah.
Not the 1/8 of the second before, so.
Oh, God. Oh, Hamilton's just said I won't be able to keep this pace up for the whole way.
Oh, Hamilton's got Mr. Negative again.
He has, but you can never tell with him if it's mind games or, you know what I mean? But he does get very negative. He's very hard on himself. And actually, I remember Eddie Jordan saying that a few years back when he was quite young, Hamilton. He would say he's too hard on himself. But again, it's easy to be like this right now because there's a championship at stake.
And what he needs a few, I don't know where the back markers are, but he needs a few back markers for DRS on the straights, but I'm not sure how many he's got. He's got Leclerc, I think, is he? But he's still a bit further away at the minute. Verstappen's on his own, so he hasn't got DRS.
I still can't get over the halo where there's a thing in the middle right in front of them. It's like it's in the fucking way of my racing.
Every time I see like a driver cam, like Leclerc's for example, I'm just thinking, obviously you can see, but it's like there's this huge pillar in my way.
Yeah. I remember when the first F1 game that had the halo on, and I tried that view, and I was like, this is horrible. This is going to be very tight. I said at the start of the race, before we went, it'd be nice to see the championship end with them both go for it on the final lap. But yeah.
It's a good job that
14.5 seconds.
It's a good job this battle's like got a bit closer now, because everybody else there's not really much change happening, is there, behind?
No. I can't see there being another safety car because it's just not that circuit. You know what I mean? I mean, we've had one or two big crashes in the past, but I don't know.
Nico Hulkenberg was a prime example when he went and flipped over.
Oh shit! Yeah, I'm hanging like a cow.
Yeah.
Or when Karun Chandok was not Karun Chandok. Sorry, the other Indian. What was his name? I forgot his name.
Kartikeyan?
That's the one, Kartikeyan in the HRT. he was too slow for Nico. Nico right into the back of it.
That HRT was pretty awful.
Oh, it was terrible.
The year of HRT, Caterham, Virgin Racing.
Well, because they came in 2010, didn't they? Those 3 teams, and they were all useless. I've always wanted more cars on the circuit, but not if you're going to be at the back.
Yeah.
Well, the leaderboard's just disappeared on the F1 stream.
I thought
They're trying to tell us something we don't know.
I thought Alonso was going to make some places here, but he's going back behind the AlphaTauris. But
yeah, well, AlphaTauri's on a mission to stop Mercedes as well. So 14 seconds.
I do like a good night race, though.
Yeah. It's like breaking the mold, isn't it? When Singapore started, then Abu Dhabi came in, then Bahrain went.
Yeah, how many night races are on the calendar now?
4?
I guess if we include Singapore, yeah. I mean, is Qatar going to be a feature next year? I'm not sure.
I think it is, isn't it?
Oh, is it? I kept thinking they were just there because of the Australia thing being.
Not sure. I think they're looking at maybe a different track in Qatar.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
so that might be a street circuit or something.
Oh, for God's sake. Why? Why? I hate street circuits.
It's better than having so much runoff area. It doesn't punish the drivers, I think.
Yeah, that's true. Ted Kravitz saying it's going down to the wire.
Well, he's going to have to try and big it up, isn't he? He's not going to say turn over and watch Antiques Roadshow, is he?
Yeah, but Ted Kravitz would still tell you that one of the greatest races of all time was Valencia 2011. You'd be like, where? Where do you see that, Ted? I don't see it anywhere, mate.
Nowhere in Valencia was that a good race.
Oh my God. 2012, I love it when they finally decided to leave. 2012 was actually quite good. Maldonado going into Hamilton, I'll never forget that.
I have to say, McLaren's livery this weekend looks quite nice. It doesn't beat the one.
Sorry?
It doesn't beat the McLaren one with the nice colours on it this weekend. However, it doesn't beat Monaco with the Golf like light blue. That was really nice.
Perez has just said it's a long way to go for Hamilton. What does he mean by that?
What, home?
I wonder if he means like a gap between I'm not sure.
Does that mean tyre life? He thinks it's a long way to go on them tyres?
Yeah.
Or...
Yeah, because Hamilton's not pitting, so. But
14 laps. What's Hamilton saying now? He's got 4 cars ahead, apparently.
yeah, because if Hamilton's able to pass those, then it should be clear sailing. I think
He's
10 laps almost to go. The gap's still 13 seconds.
Yeah.
And
Verstappen's got to take.
He's got to go quicker than a second a lap, basically, to close it up and overtake Hamilton.
He's got Leclerc, Ricardo, Ocon, and Alonso, isn't he? Coming up.
It is a lot to do, isn't it? If there was still 5 more laps to be added to this, then yeah, I think you'd talk about them two going up at each other. But
yeah,
we'll see what happens.
Behind Ricardo, Sainz, Alonso, and Ocon, yeah. Leclerc, even, sorry, not Sainz. And that's a massive DRS train as well. So that will gradually split up throughout the sectors. So if he times it right between corner 5 and corner 9, then he could have a nice straight where he just gets DRS and flies through, and that'll be it.
It's kind of like going up against a lot of traffic lights, isn't it? If they all go green at the right timings for you, it doesn't stop you at all. And I should know that from crossing roads when they all go red for them straight away.
I was going to say, you don't know that from driving, because you don't.
Yeah, I can't see it. I think there's too much for him to do.
Jamie, you're supposed to be hyping it up. People are joining
I
in.
know,
You're supposed to be
but
hyping what's happening.
I know, but I'm not Ted Kravitz.
Tell everyone it's going down to the wire.
It's going down to the shit.
Oh, great.
I mean, the Ashes test didn't go. The first test didn't go down to the wire. They all kept saying that'll go down close, and it never did. They finished a day early.
Did you stay up for that?
First 2 nights, I stayed up for the first couple of hours, but I ain't watching it all night.
I was gonna say.
The next test is a bit more nicer because it's a day-night test, so it'll finish late on in the mornings for us, which will be nice.
Right, so I've just ended the poll on the stream as well in terms of who you think will win the World Championship. We will do Driver of the Day. Got a couple of laps to go, so we'll just get them votes coming through now as well. 55% saying Lewis Hamilton, 44% still saying Max Verstappen. So, yeah, thank you very much for putting that on. We'll, of course, do Driver of the Day a little bit closer to the end of the race as well.
They're just showing Pistolary, isn't it? Well, not one. Piastri, even. That won the F2 championship.
Oscar Piastri, yeah. He's won 3 championships in a row, hasn't he? Year on year, actually. He won F3 last year as well.
Bring him into Formula 1 and he'll win the Formula 1 championship.
Imagine that.
First time
Oh, sorry, Alonso. We got this new up and coming driver.
I want to see Alonso in a good car next year. I'm not saying his car hasn't been good, but I mean, like, championship winning car.
Yeah.
I'd just love to see Alonso go for it next season somehow. God knows.
Okay, so he's got past Daniel Ricciardo now, has he, in terms of Hamilton? Has he got a couple more cars left?
I think so. I mean, look at the gap. It's still around 13 seconds either way, so
yeah.
I just can't see it.
He's right behind him as he approaches those DRS sections as well.
The F1's Driver of the Day polls currently got Raikkonen at the top. I wonder why.
Yeah, Norris is doing a good job against Bottas, isn't he? You can see Bottas is always up as we get to like the sector. Obviously, DRS helping, but Norris is doing a good job holding him back there for 5th place. I mean, it's not looking good for Bottas next year when he sees that both Alphas went out. He's like,
Hamilton's cleared one of the Alpines now. So he's just got Alonso to go, and he's going to get Alonso with DRS on that straight, I think.
Yeah, he's past Ocon, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. Is he going to get DRS, or if he's too far behind? I can't see. That's way too far ahead. My eyes aren't that good. Yeah, too far behind. He could get it on the next one, though.
This would be the other way around if Alonso was fighting for the position. This would be very difficult. Alonso would be like, hello, you're not coming past, but obviously with blue flags.
Imagine if Alonso just goes, nope, and just drives.
I like Verstappen.
Wow. Alonso just takes it into his own hands.
All those Dutch fans have turned up for nothing.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know why, there just seems to be a massive Dutch following for Verstappen, and it's they cover those stands like Valentino Rossi.
10 laps to go.
So 12.2 seconds. Oh, it's getting down to 12 at least. Hamilton's clearly still nervous.
9 laps to go. 10 laps to go. Why did it say 10 laps previously when it's not? It's 9. Yeah, there we go. Now it says 9. Why did it just bring up a big red sign that said 10 laps to go when it's 9?
It does that on the MotoGP feed as well. It's like, I'm confused here. Yeah, Cristiano was saying that the clock is ticking.
Christian's crying.
Yeah, he's...
Hamilton, Bottas looking for a move on Norris. Still got to get past him.
4 cars to go through for Verstappen. It's too much to do. They're gonna. The problem is Red Bull are going to bring this up now, aren't they? At the end of the race, they're going to talk about that incident.
At the
And
beginning,
it's like,
yeah.
Oh, Norris coming in for a pit stop. So Bottas goes through.
I mean, what are they going to fight for, Red Bull? I understand, like, if there's anything that you can hold on to try and, change things, then fine. But really look at it from the neutral perspective, like myself, and go, there's nothing to fight for here. The race control team did exactly what was right, which was Hamilton was given nothing.
Hamilton was at the apex first for the corner. Hamilton was turning for the corner before Verstappen had even got to the apex.
It was typical late braking for Verstappen. It was as I said early on, there's nothing wrong in doing that move, but there's consequences if you don't do it right.
Yeah, and Hamilton had to make evasive action in order for them not to collide. So if they did collide, then Verstappen would have lost the front wing, and Hamilton would have had side pod damage. So
yeah, exactly. So, like I said, race control did it right, where Hamilton still led afterwards, and it's like, Verstappen made a mistake there. Hamilton should stay ahead for now. And that's what they did.
Oh my God! Can you imagine? They've just told Hamilton about Norris and having a slow puncher on them hard tires.
Oh,
can you imagine?
No. Why? Oh,
36 laps he's done on them tires so far.
Toto Wolff's heart is pumping very hard right now.
Honestly. Because he's now
dropped
to
send a message to Bottas here. Bottas is James here. James is Bottas here. I need you to crash into the wall for us and cause a safety car.
Oh God, we need to get thoughts from Nelson Piquet's son.
Valtteri, it's James, and then he just goes, James, it's Valtteri, leave me alone.
Are we gonna have Crashgate again?
No, I'm sure.
Do any of you remember Crashgate from Singapore?
With the start with Verstappen and
no. When
Vettel. Was it Piquet?
Was it
Alonso?
Piquet who?
Alonso.
Piquet got. Yeah, Alonso won the race, but Piquet made the crash for him to win.
Yeah.
And they found out it was on purpose. It was bad. It was really bad.
It was, yeah. I feel bad for Norris because he was doing well defending against Bottas, but that slow puncher, he's on the medium tyres now, but he's now in 8th place, I think, he just overtook Ocon.
Yeah. Oh, he's overtaken Alonso as well.
Has he?
Yeah. I haven't seen it because it was on the leaderboard. They just showed him go up a place. So what? Is it 7 laps, 10 seconds, the gap?
Yeah. Verstappen still got traffic. He's got Norris as well as the other 4 before. So he's got 5 now. No chance.
I mean, fair play to Mercedes. They've kind of taken a risk with that, but it's working. I mean, that's what it takes, take risks.
Well, Hamilton got a great start as well, didn't he? And he got the job done into turn 1.
Yeah.
Oh, he nailed it.
He did what he needed to do. Which surprised me, to be honest, because I thought the soft tyres for Red Bull, they'd have a better launch and Verstappen would get away, and it would be about like how long he would be able to last on the mediums compared to like Verstappen on the softs. But Hamilton, to his credit, a great start and managed to get Max on the very first corner. So look at all them cars. I know they're blue flags, but
Verstappen making his way through those cars now. He's just gone past Leclerc. So he's on to the same task that Hamilton had a couple of laps ago of getting past the Alpines and McLaren of Daniel Ricciardo.
Yeah, I feel like unless Hamilton has a major issue here.
Yeah. I mean, it can happen. We've seen, Verstappen should have won Azerbaijan, and then all that happened.
Yep.
And that, in all fairness, that moment is going to haunt him now, I think.
Where was Hamilton in that Was he second or third when that incident happened?
He was second, I think.
Was he second? Yeah. Even with Crosty's commentary, he's bored as well.
Yeah, there's just something about this racetrack. I don't know.
It should never be the final race. I've never understood it.
Well, we know why.
Yeah, well, yeah.
We do know why.
Brazil had, 2007 final race was great. 2008 final race was great in Brazil.
Yeah.
2012
yeah.
was bloody phenomenal. Vettel crashed and still won the World Championship.
Yeah.
Not mad. No, it's just not. And then ever since, it's pretty much been Abu Dhabi. So, no, it's just not the same. I'm not saying like it's all.
Yellow flag, all crash. Nicholas Latifi's into the wall.
Uh-oh.
Safety car, that's got to be a safety car.
Guys, the championship is still good. It's still good.
Oh no.
This race.
We knew this race was going to be good. We knew this race was going to be good.
Yeah, this track is great.
Safety car. That could be a red flag as well, because that car is.
It's a safety car. It's a safety car on the driver tracker.
Yeah, but it could be a red flag because that car is not in a very easy position to remove.
Oh.
So, yeah, because when they did.
Lewis has got to pit though. This is perfect time for Lewis to pit.
Well, yeah.
But would Verstappen take the lead?
No, because of the safety car speed limit. I think. I'm not sure if he's pitted.
They're not running.
It had to be
They're
the
not running
Latifi,
to go
didn't
in.
it?
No, they're waiting for a red flag. I think Verstappen's pitted.
Is he? Is he coming in?
Yeah. Yeah, soft tyres.
Yeah.
Hamilton's just swearing.
Why didn't he pit? Fresh shot tyres, 4 laps to go. How long does this yellow flag in the safety car stay out until it becomes a red flag because of that car position? No.
It's normally average of 4 or 5 laps in any race, though, isn't it? I think we could end.
Perez is coming in as well.
Oh, it'd be such a shame if this ends on a bloody safety car.
Verstappen's definitely going to get fastest lap now, though. I mean, it won't make a difference.
Well, there's a safety car at the moment. So, yeah.
Do you remember 2012? This in the last few laps, De Resta crashed his car and then it ended on yellow flag.
Classic De Resta.
Sorry, safety car. Oh, it's such a shame. It's such a good race and then it ended with a yellow flag. Sorry, safety car. Fuck's sake, I keep saying yellow flag.
It is a yellow flag. You're right.
Hamilton's just said that's unbelievable, man. Hurry up, clear the track.
You got all that smoke from the fire extinguishers, and that car is still sitting in a very awkward position. How has this not been red flagged?
Yeah, because we've had it all season, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean.
Yeah.
That car is like taking up almost half of the corner.
Mick Schumacher's ploying to make sure Michael Schumacher still has 7 with Hamilton. He's gone into the Latifi, and he goes, "If I can do anything here, Dad, I'll help you out."
Latifi just hit the curbs though, and then crashed into the side.
No, that isn't the corner he crashed on. What happened there then? So he went over the curbs, and then he's lost. It looks like he's lost a bit of underfloor. Does he spin?
Just lost, punching right rear.
What a red flag! I'll give us something to look forward to.
So 2 Alphas, 2 Williams have gone out.
Yeah.
Whoa! Let's see how that hit the back. Spark, nice. Saw Kimi do that in practice too. Yeah, Lewis went past the pits, didn't he? But like he went so slowly, like they were out as well.
4 laps remaining.
They were out for mediums.
But there's no. But there's no vehicles near the Latifi's car to move it.
Yeah. What they were saying then is that they have to let lap cars through when the safety car's getting ready to come in, so it may not restart. With 3 laps to go, we're on the 3rd lap of that 3 lap. So, and then those cars have to come round to catch up with the safety car.
Oh my God! Can you imagine if it ends under the safety car?
It could be like a final lap. Wow.
No.
What was I saying at the start of the race, lads?
Hamilton would be well pissed.
The issue is though, they have to clear Latifi's car in the next 2 laps for that to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't know.
This is why I agree with Conor, where it's like we've seen this season.
This is going to end under the safety car.
We've had red flags. Oh, yeah. Fuck's sake!
This is going to end under the safety car. They're not going to have enough time. When we go past the section now, we have to see if Latifi's car is still on the track. Because if it is, then they've got what?
2 laps.
3 minutes to move that car. Otherwise, we're under a safety car. The car's in the air now.
They're moving it now.
The car's in the air now.
Yeah.
Oh, they might go to 1 lap. Oh no!
Oh, Hamilton, shut up, man! He just said the safety car's not going at full gas on the straight. I'm sorry, don't speak like that. Let's not forget, Williams used Mercedes, so it's their fault.
Yeah. Toto's going to be calling Jos Capito.
No, he'll be calling Susie and say it's over.
The track's got all the extinguisher stuff on it as well. So surely they've got to clean that up.
Yeah, especially the debris and all that. 3 laps to go.
Oh yeah, the brakes are on fire.
Okay, the Red Bull lot are coming out again. What's going on here? Is this for Perez?
Perez
yeah, it
came in, I thought.
Perez came in, yeah.
Is it Verstappen again? No, it is Perez.
Why is Perez coming in again? He pit when it first came out.
Yeah, Perez is retiring. Perez is retiring.
Oh, no.
Oh, really?
Mm.
That's a shame. Oh, God, I wonder what that was then. They've just told him, retire.
Lapped cars will not be allowed to overtake.
What? How does that work?
So Constructors' Championship is done, isn't it?
Verstappen will still be behind 5 cars, won't he?
Yeah. What? I'm sorry, but this just sums up FIA this season. It's been so inconsistent.
How many laps have
Just
we got?
give us the last
2.
Why don't they just give us the race we fucking want? Never happens, does it?
Yeah, they got it's the
track's
fire
clear
extinguisher
now,
stuff. Isn't more? No, it's not cleared yet. We haven't gone past that bit yet. But I just want to see if all the fire extinguisher stuff cleared off the track, because that's going to make it slippy, isn't it? It's not the same tarmac.
Verstappen's already criticising. They told him, yeah, lap cars cannot overtake, and he went, yeah, of course, typical decision. In all fairness, though, FIA this season have been dreadful with their decision making. It's been very inconsistent.
Yeah, all those fire extinguisher stuff's been cleared.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh, yeah, and we're going to get one more final lap under the safety car. So we get one racing lap, Jamie, looks like. It's going to be one racing lap, Jack.
Oh.
The advantage that Lewis has got is going to have a clean start, whereas Verstappen's going to have to find a way to get past these lapped cars.
I can't believe that.
How many lapped cars has Verstappen got to get past?
5.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5. Vettel. He's Vettel to
Norris.
Horner's just asking.
Yes, Vettel to Norris.
FIA, what the hell's going on? Horner's not happy.
I think Lewis has until the end of the 2 DRS sections to stay ahead.
You know
And
what?
if he gets the full
I know.
then that's it. It's game.
I know I'm dreaming, but if I was those cars in between Hamilton and Verstappen, I'd think about the fans right now and go, just fucking let Verstappen.
They'll just pull over to the side, and
Yeah.
Verstappen just like cruises through. Wow.
I love-
Racing etiquette just goes out the window with you, Jamie, doesn't it?
I know. It's just so annoying. You know, the amount of seasons I've watched F1 when we've always had this hype and then it never happened. It's happening again. The most overtakes this season's just come. They've just released that again.
Do they get any points for that?
Wow. Lapped cars from Norris to Vettel to overtake safety car.
What?
Wow.
Just them?
Oh,
Oh, Toto's definitely not going to be happy now.
Wait, what does this mean then, lads?
It means that Verstappen will be right next to Hamilton.
Yes, they listened. They listened to me.
And it's ending this lap.
Toto Wolff's not happy.
What did Toto just say?
What is he doing, Hamilton? Hamilton, what? Why is Hamilton going so slow? Here we go.
Oh my god.
Oh my God, no! This isn't going to end. This is going to end ugly, isn't it? Oh lads, this is mad.
What is happening?
Going into the final corner. What? Sorry, final corner of the lap. They've got one more lap now. Final lap.
This is crazy,
Oh.
man.
why do they allow
my-
those cars through but no one else? That's so weird.
That doesn't make any sense. Any of this, does it?
Why would you only allow half the cars through?
It's like
God
it's a
knows.
bit like a fix now. I don't want to say that's harsh,
Yeah.
but
That's what it feels.
I'm sorry, but FIA have got it so wrong this year. He's going in for it, Verstappen. He's got him. He's got him. They're
Oh
going down
my
the straight.
God.
Verstappen's ahead.
they're gonna
It
kick
feels-
off.
Kicking him. Oh, but now Hamilton's going to go for him on that corner where they had that incident.
There's
at
no
the
DRS
start.
either. What were FIA thinking? Just letting half the cars through and oh
can't
my
believe it.
god!
I can't believe it. Verstappen at this moment is going to be a world
What is
champion.
happening right
Oh
now?
my word!
I bet I wouldn't be surprised now if Lewis refuses to go to the podium because why should he with
No.
that kind of decision making?
I
It's not
would.
over yet. Hamilton's going for him. It's going to go on the outside. Verstappen's beat him on the inside though. That might be it because there's not really much overtaking after this bit.
This is
That's
this
it.
is mad.
Verstappen's won. He's miles ahead. Unless Verstappen fucks up now, this is it. I can't believe what I've just witnessed. What this will be down as controversial decision making.
This is FIA
Poor
have
decision
FIA have really messed this up.
FIA, they have absolutely messed it up. And for Max Verstappen now, he is about to become the world champion. Absolutely incredible. My word, there is going to be so much fireworks, not for the celebrations, but in the garages. Max Verstappen has won the world championship. And Christian Horner punches in the air. I don't even want to repeat the words he's just said. Oh my word, lads! What the fuck have I just seen?
That is
Because my
that
word,
is so
that is
mental.
poor. That is poor from FIA. I don't understand any of this.
Oh my god.
I tell you what, lads. Though I wanted that final lap, and I said it, didn't I? I said it.
Oh my god.
It's just marked though with
I'm drinking
awful
Red Bull,
decision
lads.
making.
I'm picking the Red Bull. Oh God, lads, can you imagine what's going to be said in the interviews? I think we got to stay on.
If I was-
another 45 hours for after reaction race.
I agree with Conor. I wouldn't go. I wouldn't take a trophy. I wouldn't do anything. I wouldn't do it. I'd take the fine. If I was Hamilton, I'd take the fine. I wouldn't go. You can F off. That would be my excuse.
Yeah, I said this before the decision was made. FIA have been inconsistent all season.
Absolutely. That
And
was
they've
just
got
explosion
Mike-
of wrong decisions.
Mike Massey can't deal with races like this. I'm sorry, but he can't.
Look at Toto.
Why was it? For one moment, they said they can't overtake the lap cars,
And then they could.
and then they
And then
could.
on the lap,
You can't
which
change
the safety
position.
car was coming in, they allowed
Max.
all
through.
the cars that in between Lewis and Max to come through. No one else. It's like
Yeah. They let Max go all the way through, and then they went, oh, and it's ending. It was just
Christian
like, what?
Horner's just shouted. Christian Connor's just shouted at Max, "You are the world champion." Those words we used to say with Vettel at Red Bull. I can't believe it's been 8 years since Sebastian Vettel.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, I'm quite agitated, and you can obviously tell. Max deserves to be world champion because he's won several races this year, and the right strategy to put the soft tires on, and it worked out for him. But the fact that it's just the decision making by FIA has really annoyed me. Because it's
what's annoyed me, Conor? It's the fact that they kept changing their decision.
Yeah.
When you make a decision, you've got to stick with it, even if it's not a popular one. But they've just gone, oh no, yeah. All of a sudden they went, okay, now you can overtake. It's like, well, hang on.
Where's Jos got that sweatshirt from? That would have been awkward if they didn't win.
Well, no, he must have literally just put it on right now. Well, Hamilton's car is not there at the front.
Where is he gone?
Who came third? Wait, who came third? No one cares, but who came third?
Sainz?
Carlos Sainz.
Wow. Great job, Sainz.
You know what, lads? This has got to be the most dramatic ending to a race I've ever seen,
Yeah, Verstappen's happy now, but he was really angry a lap ago.
Yeah. Verstappen's in tears. He's literally leaning on his rear tyre there with, maybe relief more than anything to think, fucking hell. He's probably thinking, Nico Rosberg, yeah, I can see why he retired now. But Hamilton, yeah, he hasn't...
Where is Hamilton?
He
went into the pit lane.
Went into the pit lane, he's just sitting there.
He's on a plane.
Oh,
mate, I would be livid. I would be livid.
I feel sorry for Hamilton in a way because, why didn't
what a
I
joke.
completely agree with Conor? Why was there no red flag? Why didn't they just start the race
again
from the front? Again, I think you can't ask for a more fairer outcome then.
Yeah,
whoever wins doesn't matter.
I agree, Jamie. Like you said, if they red flagged it, they standing start. Both of them are on soft tires. Let's see what you can do. But that just looked like he was in for a shooting gallery, Hamilton, because he was no chance. Hard compound tyre that he's had for 30 laps, plus Max with fresh softs. It was just like sitting duck.
Bono's just said to Hamilton, "I'm just speechless."
Crazy, mate. Absolutely crazy.
Perez is a world champion, teammate. Sorry, I'm drinking my Red Bull, viewers. The Red Bull. I said I'll drink whoever wins. Yeah, I'm FIA though. They've really disappointed. I'm really annoyed by that because I don't want to sound dramatic or anything. It's nothing to do with this, but my job is in management. You can't just change your decisions all the time. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
It ends up being poor decision making.
And the problem is a lot of people will look back on this year and they'll say Max didn't deserve it because of that decision.
Yeah.
When he does deserve the World Drivers' Championship.
Yeah.
But the FIA has literally just handed it to him, and it's like you can't do that as the officials of the race circuit.
I completely agree. You're absolutely right, because we all remember seasons at the end. We all remember who wins, and everyone will remember it like this. And you're absolutely right. Look, at the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with as Conor just said. There's nothing wrong with Max Verstappen. There's nothing wrong with Hamilton.
No.
It's just poor decision making from the people who run these races.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. If I was Hamilton, I would just pay the fine. I wouldn't turn up. I'd just go. I have no interest. He's got so much money. It doesn't matter. I don't want that trophy.
I'd give him the middle finger.
Yeah. Don't want it.
So that's twice Hamilton has missed out on a world championship in Abu Dhabi. So he could have had 9 world championships, but he's still at 7. So for now, Mick Schumacher and his dad can still say that they're level with 7 world championships. Vettel ignored Max then. Patting. Did he? No, Vettel just pat Horner on the back and he went, "Oh, do you remember the days, mate? Remember the days? Can I come back?" Actually, Vettel got the most overtakes this season.
Yeah, does he get a point for that?
Or was it Alonso who got most overtakes? Yeah, they should. You know what? That's not a bad shout. Should there be solvent for that? I think there should be.
Toto's got to be on the phone to FIA right now.
I do feel
He's
sorry.
just sent them an email.
It's so on. Yeah, he's put urgent email. I feel sorry for Toto because
that is also the most calm constructors World Championship celebrations I've ever seen from Mercedes as well.
Yeah,
nothing.
Wait, Conor, you're wearing the wrong cap right now.
I'm celebrating Mercedes constructors win. That's what
Look at them. Yeah, none of them are obviously happy with that 8th constructors win. None of them. They just can't believe that. And like you said, Toto's on about the fact that they've only been allowed to unlap 5 cars. Well, the rule is they all unlap. So what they've broken the rule, their own rule there technically.
You know what? Actually, you know what? I'll say this now to Hamilton. If he does go up on that podium, that's a champion right there.
Yeah.
That's called taking it on the chin and. You know, I hope I'm sure there won't be any awkwardness between Verstappen and Hamilton. They've both got to realise it's no one's fault here. It's just the people who control the race.
I'd kick the trophy over though.
Sorry, I slipped. Is it me, Conor? Has Jack said the right words at the right time in this watch along?
I get your point. Like, obviously, being a 7-time world champion, how respectful you would be going up on the podium. But I would just be so pissed off with everybody who've made them decisions. Like in the last 5 laps, they've just, I don't know, it all went chaotic. And the stewards and Michael Massey before the race weekend said, we don't want us to decide the championship. Well, basically, no offense, but you have.
They technically have, yeah. Yes.
Oh, it's Jenson Button.
Christ, can you imagine Jenson having to speak to Lewis? Good.
Let's hear what he said.
Unbelievable.
He's going to have the number 1 number on his car as well this next season, isn't he? As well, he said he would have it.
Oh, he said he would.
Yeah.
Do you remember when Vettel had it when they brought in the rules in 2014, and he had it? And I don't know why I always felt a bit weird about that. Hamilton said he wouldn't, didn't he? I think if he did get it. Oh, the journalists are having a field day. Oh, that's nice. Max thanking Checo straight away.
We might need a miracle to win this championship. Oh no, we've just got a call from Michael Massey.
if in doubt, call Mike.
How much money do you want, Michael? How much money do you want?
Yeah. Oh, it's so weird. So weird. I've already had a text off my mate Billy. He says that makes no sense. My brother's just gone angry in a WhatsApp message. he really wanted Hamilton to get his 8th championship. This Red Bull's quite nice. Tastes nice with victory.
Perhaps you should have a cry while drinking the other one and see if that tastes nice.
I don't even like these drinks. They're horrible. Monster's horse piss, isn't it? I'm a bit weird. I'm a bit weird. I've got a Monster Energy Valentino Rossi edition on my shelf.
Maybe you should mix the two.
Keep this one.
Mix the two.
Oh no! Oh, I'd be so wrong. Yeah, half and half.
Yeah.
Well, Merry Christmas, everyone.
Well, Merry Christmas. Not for Hamilton.
Yeah. I can't get over that.
Fair dues to Carlos Sainz, actually. We're going to ignore him.
Do you think FIA did this so that there would be a news story to talk about for the next few days and trend on Twitter?
Tell you what, Netflix Drive to Survive has got an absolutely cracking season finale coming.
God, yeah. Oh, it's a sad moment. Well, emotional moment. Lewis's dad giving him a chat, put his arm around him. I've got a lot of credit for Lewis's dad because it was him that made sure Lewis Hamilton got the career he got. Because he's the one that took him around the country to get into go-karting, and he had a normal job and paid a lot of money to get him into F1.
I think literally, you've got to, if you're Lewis Hamilton, you've got to come away with this and say, I've done it. I did everything absolutely possible to win that. There's nothing he could have done, to be honest.
It feels like when you lose a penalty shootout in a final, you've done everything you could, but sadly someone has to lose. Well, I'll say this now for Lewis. I know it's easy for me to say, but there's always next year. He's one of the best drivers, if not the best.
Yeah, but he's thinking next year I don't have Valtteri, I have George.
Oh yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. Let's see what Lewis says. I reckon he'll take this on the chin. Oh, that's nice to see. Hamilton's dad with Jos Verstappen and Max, and he's congratulating them both. All they had to do was wave a red flag. I have to agree with Jensen there. I think he's right. Completely agree. I mean, I know Hamilton's a great racer, but today he was phenomenal. I do feel for Lewis. That's not fair. Well, it's funny, Jack. You remember our Callan FM shows back in 2015? I'll never forget. We were kind of hinting that Verstappen could be a world champion.
Yeah, I think we always had that. Seeing he won. His first race at Red Bull, he won. Which was incredible. So we always knew that there was a possibility for Verstappen. The only thing that worried me is that he was very much, could lose points just by having an instant where he just dived down the inside and went out the race, or lost parts of the car which made him slower in the race as well. So there was always that chance that he was a bit too aggressive. And of course we have seen that this year, but you can't take away from it. He won the most races this year, and like you said, whoever won today deserved it. But I just think sadly it's going to be a few years down the line, no one will remember how it was won, but they'll just remember Max Verstappen as a world champion. But I think what's happened over the last couple of laps is going to take place over the next few weeks or so, of what the hell that the FIA were thinking. To be honest, they're going to have to give a detailed report about why they made the decisions that they did. I don't think there's any doubt about that, because Mercedes will not be happy with the sense that they let only 5 drivers through, and it was the 5 drivers between Verstappen and Hamilton. If you're going to do it, you do it like normal.
Yeah, exactly. I'm really angry about that. That to me looked like a management of race control. Couldn't make a mind up. They didn't follow the book, and the occasion got to them. The occasion got to them. That's how I see it. The occasion got to them. They thought, what's best for the fans? And I joked. Didn't I joke about it, lads?
You did.
If all the cars moved to the side and let them race that final lap. And it happened.
Yeah.
But, and Conor said it rightly, which was, what was the word? Adequate, was it? Or something like that. I think, thinking adequately or something like that. And it's like, yeah, you're right. I shouldn't be anywhere near it because I shouldn't think like that. But they've kind of done it like that. And the problem is it favoured Red Bull because it was, yes, we've got a chance now. If we can swap what we had and have a chance at the championship again, then let's do it.
It's almost as if the FIA wanted to set up the last lap for television.
Yeah,
and
exactly that.
It wouldn't have been achieved if all the cars were allowed to pass through, because it would have meant that the safety car would have had to go round for another final lap to allow all the cars to go through and then catch up again. And it feels so wrong, the decision by FIA to allow just 5 cars through. And I just wonder why. So I'm really curious. I'm really interested to see what the FIA say about this.
Did you just hear FIA's response to Toto?
What?
They just said to him, "It's a motor race, Toto. It's a car race." And then Toto went, "I'm sorry."
Yeah, that's not an adequate response at all.
No, it's not. This is what I mean. I question the people who run these races. I've been questioning it all season, saying it's been inconsistent. And today that makes me think you don't know how to run a race.
That was a very childish response, wasn't it?
It was. Fuck them. Sorry, I know that's rude of me to say that, but you can't have these people running F1.
What I want to know, like, if Hamilton had come in the pits as well, and both of them had changed for soft tyres, would they have? They wouldn't have allowed both of them to.
That's what I mean. Like, it feels as though the decision was made for television because they wanted Hamilton and Verstappen to battle on the last lap.
I have no doubts on that either. I completely agree.
Because, like you said, if Verstappen had pitted and Hamilton had also pitted, then obviously the cars in front would have been behind. So would they have let just them to overtake the other lap cars? Or do you know what I mean? And I agree with you. I just think that they've done it for TV, but that's not it. That's not Formula One. Formula One is the actual racing. It's not what it is for broadcasting.
FIA have failed today.
Absolutely.
They have failed F1
Absolutely.
today. It's as simple as that.
Absolutely.
It's as simple as that. You know, if this was the opposite way round, Hamilton would still celebrate, and it'd be Christian Horner screaming down the mic.
Yeah.
We can't. People must remember, you can't. We've seen ugliness on social media this season on Max and Hamilton. You can't blame any of them today. No. What they did on the last lap was what happened. It was great racing, but sadly, it's how it was decided. Connor said it from the moment it happened. You wave that red flag, get that bit cleared, restart from them to at the top, basically the same as the start of the race. Get them at the front too, and just there you go. You've got the right. Whoever wins.
Yeah, at least then under the red flag conditions, there would have been time for either driver to change the tires on his car if they wanted to. There's time for them to sort out the order so that the backed up cars, the lap cars aren't in the way of racing. And there's time for them to clear up all the debris off from the track so that it's not going around under the safety car for 5 laps. So why it wasn't red flagged, I just don't know.
And what I don't get is in the last few laps of like Azerbaijan, it was straight away red flag, pretty much. You know, we've had enough races this season to know how red flag works. I don't know the rule book that well of FIA. I don't read it like they do every day, but I know enough to think surely the red flag and a race in a situation like this, just do it for the fans.
Yeah, I mean, Stewart's put in.
They couldn't make a decision at all until it came to the last lap, and that's what is really worrying me for the future of F1 if this is how they do it.
I'm gonna say Stewart's put in the chat, and he's gone. Rules say it's to the FIA discretion, so no rules have been broken. The issue has been consistency as normal, as they would do all cars.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah,
I think they need to review the rules, to be honest. I don't like the fact that it comes down to them making a decision on the moment, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's right, because people say you shouldn't have emotions in certain jobs. You know, you shouldn't think about their perspective or their perspective. It just felt like a very obvious decision to be made. We currently have a government who can't make the right decisions, and it feels like that in F1 racing right now.
The worst thing is if like you and Conor have said, if they'd done the red flag and both of them had battled it out for 1 lap, whoever won, we would be talking about how great that was. The problem is what's happened now is we're talking about the FIA making an absolute F up. And that's the issue, isn't it? If you'd done the red flag and standing start, they both fight for each other on that last lap, then whoever won, absolutely fine. You know, they deserved it, whatever. But where we have it right now, Mercedes are shell shocked. Red Bull can't believe what's happened, and us as fans are like, what the hell's gone on? So that's the issue for me. And the FIA, like you said, Jamie, I just feel like they failed. The way that they did it may not have broken the rules, but the consistency this season has been terrible. It really has. And in a championship where you need it to be, top dollar with the performances that the two teams and drivers are putting in, their consistently has been absolutely shocking. It really has.
I think, it says it all, doesn't it? How it had to take up until this race to basically have the consequence of bad decision making. I'm sorry. As I said, I don't mean to bring my job into it, but I have to make decisions and stick to it. And even if I don't like it, I'll stick to it. Not, I'm going to change my mind. I can't believe they changed their mind twice.
Yeah.
Twice. You can't do that. You've got to stick to it. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. It's like Boris when he did his speech. You can go out, but you can't go out. It's like, no, stick to a fucking decision. That's what leadership is. You're going to have people that won't like it, but you just got to do it. I don't get it. Nah, it's a real shame. But, let's not take it away from Max Verstappen. He's been, he's one of the very few that's actually can now say he has stopped Lewis Hamilton in a world championship, so he goes down with Nico Rosberg.
Yeah.
And I'll say this now for Hamilton, he'll be up for it next year now. I'm sure of it.
Absolutely. And even though Mercedes have won the constructors, they won't forget this winter. Mercedes will win the first 4 races. They'll just have this desire now. Like the FIA have pissed them off. Do you know what I mean? They'll just have this hunger in the winter now.
Well, Button's having another interview with... Oh, has he not interviewed him yet? I thought he had.
He has interviewed him, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Why is he interviewing him again? Well, this certainly makes our advent calendar countdown. I couldn't decide whether to put Conor on Christmas Day or this one now.
Mental.
She likes motor racing, Conor. She does that on the side.
Daniel Ricciardo fan, isn't she? Don't know where.
Yeah, she is.
I don't know where he finished. 10th? No.
Well, you know what I think of him.
Yeah, we know. I do. I do.
I love him, but he's not that good. Yeah. Weird. Really weird ending. Mixed feelings.
Yeah.
But the news, this will be the number 1 story on the news tonight. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Which in a way is good for F1, but maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. Congratulations to Max Verstappen on becoming world champion. But the FAA has got a lot to answer for before the new season gets underway.
What do you do now, though? I mean, surely you've got to have a review of the whole season and look at these people who run it and go, right, we can't have this again.
Well, who makes that decision, though? Because Jean Todd's leaving.
Well, is he leaving the presidency, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I don't know who's taking it. I don't know if they've announced that yet. But do they come in and clean slate it, or that's the thing.
I'd imagine they'll have to make the decision soon because it's not just F1. There's all sorts of other racing going on from January.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think the World Rallying starts in January again. Yeah, I just think they need to review it again. I mean, is this Michael Massey's second season or first? No, it's not his first, is it? It's second, isn't it?
I think.
If only we had Charlie Whiting back, eh? Sadly passed away. Because, I mean, look, I'll say this now about Charlie Whiting. He wasn't this bad.
The problem is, as I don't know how much decision-making Michael Massey does, because isn't he just the person that does the speaking with the teams? Because the stewards obviously make the decisions. He's not part of that,
I'd imagine... Yeah, you might be right. He might be the spokesperson.
But I think the way he said to Toto was a bit childish. But I feel like the stewards and it's, it is different kind of stewards every week. But I just feel like do they just bring the same stewards every week? Do you just have consistency? Is it because you have different ones? Is the reason why?
Yeah, that's what they've been suggesting, haven't they? They've been saying you need to get maybe why not just send these people around the world and do each race?
Exactly. You send
so that
everyone
it's
else around
consistent.
the world.
That's the problem because these stewards, I think they're all volunteers, aren't they? You know, it's not like they're paid to do it. I mean, my mate Chris Brown, if you're watching, he does it. He's starting to do it now, not for F1, but for lower series, where you just volunteer.
Yeah.
And obviously, once you've got a few years in you and you keep doing it, you might go up to do F1 races in England only. You wouldn't, you know, the people in Abu Dhabi this week in terms of race stewards, I think some of them come from South Africa. You know, they do. Some of these stewards travel for the hell of it. You know, I think you've got to remember as well, if this is a voluntary role, they're looking at this as maybe as just a hobby and a holiday, and just a way to get near the track.
No, I wouldn't say that, Jamie. I mean, I'm sure they go through extensive training before they're allowed to put onto the.
Some of them are ex-drivers,
I'm not saying they're not trained or anything. I mean, like, it's one way of getting in, if that makes sense.
I think they just have to find more consistency somehow with the decision making that they're making throughout the season, because otherwise we're just going to be constantly talking about the decisions that are being made rather than the fantastic drives that Lewis Hamilton's able to do, or what Max Verstappen is able to do in order to achieve world championships. So, I think they just need to find a way to become more consistent with the decision making.
Look, F1 makes a lot of money, and I think they should just get a team of stewards and send them around the world. Simple as that. That's how I see it. But that's
Why are you shouting me?
Oh. But yeah, it's just one of those. It's I think that's what I would do with the stewards anyway. If you want consistency, I think that's the best way forward. I mean, you don't have, you have it in tennis where they send the same chair umpires around the world.
Mm-hmm.
Cricket, you have the same umpires and all that as well. You know, that they all it's part of the job.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah. No, I think they definitely need a review in the winter about what they do.
Well, apparently there's football on later. Completely forgot. So the Bahrain Grand Prix starts 18th of March.
Well, they've had testing as well a couple of weeks before.
It's a weird thing, isn't it, F1? We have quite a bit of a break now, 3 months, but, it goes quick. 23 races next season, so it'll be a busy one. One more race than this year.
Yeah.
But, I'll say it's now about F1, credit where it's due, because last year we didn't have a season start till July, and they still got a lot of races in for Hamilton to win his 7th World Championship. We've kind of had a normal year, haven't we, this year, lads, where the calendar has kind of started as it normally would.
Fans have come back.
And, and fans are back, especially today. Damon Hill's having a word. He said it's spot on. He said they've kept us guessing all the time.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think we'll have hopefully have like a reaction review. Hopefully, we'll have, if we do that maybe in a couple of days or something, because we might get more reports out from any further information on the, say, like the FIA's decisions, and that might be quite a good idea to do. But in terms of this now, sort of like wrap it up. I mean, both of you, thoughts on in terms of like quick on the season and obviously this race, because I mean that was mental.
Absolutely mental.
I mean, ultimately, we're thinking, Verstappen does deserve this win, like we said, but I just feel like it's just the way that it's gone about now.
It's just the way it's gone about. I mean, it was never the final lap that bothered me. It was just the fact that one moment the lap cars can't overtake, was it, or can? I can't remember.
Yeah.
And then just all of a sudden, they point out the exact cars that need to move out the way, which were in between Verstappen and Hamilton.
Yeah.
And then straight away, you heard the FIA getting even just when that was that final race, Toto was screaming. It's like, well, hang on a minute. What's that all about? Two bad decision makings. And Damon Hill's just said it spot on. They left us guessing, and that's what made it dramatic. But you knew deep down that it just didn't feel right.
Conor, your thoughts?
I'm only just going to repeat what I've said earlier, that Max deserves to win the title after winning, not just today, but several other races throughout the year. But it just feels as though the FIA decided who should win this race at the end of it, with the decision to allow only a small portion of the back markers, the lapped cars, to overtake the safety car. And I think they realized if they were to allow more than the 5 that were between Lewis and Max, that the safety car would have had to go round again, so that they all bunch up and that it's a fair start from the safety car. And they knew that, and I think that's why they made the decision which they did, which to me is a conflict of interest, because if you don't completely follow the rule, then okay, so are some cars allowed to overtake off the track and not others? And that's not me just making a statement. We've seen that throughout the year, and it's just inconsistency that's just ruined the season. What was a really good season has just been ruined by inconsistency, in my opinion.
Yeah.
We said it. We said it at the start of the race. It's been inconsistent, and they've kind of backed up what we've said, basically. It's mad. It's just rewatching the Tiffy crash. That feels like a long time ago now. But yeah, the Tiffy playing a big part in the championship, which, let's be honest, lads, and you know me, I was very negative at the end, thinking that this is going to be a very boring end to the season. And how wrong I was.
Yeah.
I'm normally most of the time wrong, but that I was very wrong.
No, I mean, like I said, more things I expect will unfold. We'll obviously get interviews with people in Mercedes, but we will find that out. But I mean, I think probably we should wrap it up from that point of view, because I think we're only going to get more information as it comes over the next couple of days. And like I said, I think we will do a review on this as well in a couple of days' time. Hopefully, we'll get the full information on it. But yeah, I mean, unless anybody else wants to add anything further, I just think we have probably summed up everything in that, where we just feel like the inconsistency has taken shape from the FIA here.
Horner's just he's completely covered in rose water. He's hugging everyone, even Simon Lesenby.
Yeah, congratulations to Max Verstappen on becoming world champion, for sure, and commiserations to Lewis for a valiant effort as well over the past 4 races, winning in Brazil and Qatar and Saudi Arabia, to claw himself back and to make what was a great final race until the decisions by the FIA. But ultimately, the drivers on the track made this season special from the way that they performed, and you keep your fingers crossed that the same can be replicated next season. But if not, then we have a great season to look back on and to remember with these 2 drivers really clawing at it until the checkered flag was thrown down on the final race of the season. So yeah, huge congratulations to Max Verstappen on becoming a Formula One world champion.
Yeah, and of course, like we said, we will hopefully do a review and reaction video to this in a couple of days' time as well. So obviously check that out as well. But yeah, my thanks obviously to Jamie and Conor obviously for for today and being part of this stream. A couple of laps in, as Jamie mentioned, we did think it was going to be another boring race. How that has not taken effect, and how there's going to be a lot more controversy as we go into the next couple of days as well. But yeah, Jamie, Conor, thank you very much, obviously, for over the season of this year, being part of the streams as well. It's been great to obviously have you on here. Of course, check out the other streams that are going to go on. There's still more sport going on for the rest of this year, so of course, keep on checking out the channel for Let's Talk Sport. We will be doing a lot more sport on there, but of course, we do have Formula One is back in March. We may do some more videos before that, but the main watch-alongs again will start back in in March next year. So yeah, I mean, any other points anybody else wants to add? But
no, just my thanks to you guys for keeping. Well, it's been a mad season, a lot of races, one of the most crazy seasons. So thanks to Conor and Jack for hosting the majority of the race watch-alongs. And yeah, I'm sure we'll all do it again next season. Of course, we do MotoGP as well. So if you're new to the channel, do tune in next season for all that. And I'm sure we'll try and do some videos between now and the start of the F1 season. And yeah, look forward to next year already. But I think right now we all need a Christmas break, especially after today's race. And yeah, bring on the new year. But no, I think I said at the start, whoever won the World Championship today deserved it, and you know, Max deserves it. I will remind people, don't have a go at any of these drivers. They did what they had to do in front of them. Max was the winner at the end. And just remember, you can throw your letters to FIA. I'm on Twitter now, and it's just, yeah, FIA have a lot to answer to from what I'm seeing.
Yeah, and that will continue to grow, I expect, into the afternoon and the evening. That's for sure. But yeah, ultimately, you know, the 2021 Formula One season has ended with Max Verstappen becoming the world champion. Of course, Mercedes are constructors as well, but they are not thinking about that right now. They are absolutely shell-shocked with what has happened. But yeah, thank you everybody for watching over this 2021 F1 season, and we will see you all in 2022 in March for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Like Jamie said, don't forget to check out the rest of the sports on the channel as well. But in terms of the Formula One, we will see you all very soon. Thank you for watching. Take care.
See you later.